right. Welcome back, everyone. First session of the year, and I hope everyone had a good holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of fun.
It was bitchin'.
Hey. Excellent.
As you can hear, I got a new headset.
Nice.
My old one was giving up the charging ghost.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's a bad ghost
Yeah.
to give up. You need that ghost.
Yeah, that is kind of an
Right?
one.
It's a load-bearing
I
ghost.
could only charge it if it was sitting in a very specific position.
Is it a Type C slot? It's the small oval-shaped slots.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say if it was a USB-C charging slot, because my phone was doing that. You can usually that's the result of them. They're dirty. You can clean them out pretty easily by carefully running an X-Acto knife through. But
I think it's a USB-B.
Okay.
The one that the old Nintendo Advance or
Yeah.
Game Boy Advances were.
Ooh. Yeah. No. Never mind. That one was just giving up the ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel old for knowing what those are.
Don't worry. We all do.
It was also the battery was only lasting like 12 hours.
Not optimal.
But
No.
No.
So it's like, yeah, bad battery life and hard to charge.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get things started. So where we left off, you guys had finally gotten to Mansk after a few days travel and traveling with another Delver crew who ended up getting waved down for guard check, unlike your crew. Everybody say thank you to Vellos.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vellos.
Thanks, fellows.
The good kind of racial profiling.
There's no such thing. You just got profiled. As a pinnacle of everything good and lawful. Or at least good. Let's see here. Last time, if I remember correctly, you guys had sold a few things at the Crystal Eye.
Yeah.
Despite the name is not just a massive crystal eye, its symbol is a ring with a gemstone set in it. And then I think that was it.
We visited a museum.
Yes, no, you did visit
We did.
Cabinet of Curios.
Lantern has a new favorite place.
Yes, it's ran by 4 kobolds, which, if you remember, their names are Matches, Sparks, Crackle, and Steve.
Fine name, Steve. A strong name.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves you guys kind of walking through a trade district area.
Right, I think we were gonna look for some place to sell the barrels of booze.
I believe that was on the agenda, yes.
Yes. Along with some other things.
Yep.
So we can free up space in the cart.
Yes, because it's, even though you have, 30 feet of space, it's kind of crowded.
A little bit.
Yeah, like, what was it, like 5 barrels we were gonna sell?
Something like that. Those barrels aren't small, they're 40 gallon.
Yep.
But they're small compared to a giant cask.
Yes.
Yes.
Lantern is keeping the mead barrel. She is very firm on that. She is happy to share the mead in it with the rest of you. The barrel is hers.
sensible.
I know Thorn has his own barrel as well.
Yes, Thorn does.
And I think we were keeping a third one just for general consumption for the rest of us.
I believe
So that nobody has to get between Thorn and his barrel. Because
Yeah.
he's a big guy,
Yeah.
The biggest guy.
right? Lantern is willing to share hers, and she is a little one.
I think Vellos
That is the
has-
part.
I think
The
Vellos
main
has
reason
Vellos
she's
be
going to
pretty
share it
good.
is because she thinks it may be ambitious to conquer this journey alone.
But if they keep one more, that should give them plenty for the rest of them.
Exactly.
At least for the next couple of trips. And now they've got free barrels out of it after they drink it all.
What more could you ask for?
Right? But yeah, we definitely don't need 8.
Sure you do.
Selling 5 of the 8 should be fine.
I think we should be fine with that, yeah.
Yeah.
You say that now, but also you'll say it later as well.
What were you gonna say about Vellos dice?
I said Vellos is probably the only one who has Thorn beat, and that's purely a bulk situation. You're both similar height.
Mm-hmm.
True. I guess taverns would be the place to go to sell barrels of alcohol.
Yes. Tara might also be interested in buying this Stein dwarven shaped mug thing.
Are there any taverns that look like they cater specifically to to delvers or like tourists who are interested in delving? Because that might be where we should start.
Go ahead and give me. Are you asking around, or are you going to try and find one yourself?
Let me double check my skills real quick.
Vellos is pretty good at asking around, I think.
I think Lantern would ask around.
Okay, that would be a charisma check.
Charisma?
Yep.
Dori could also do so.
You will allow 2 rolls.
You don't want Fiona asking for directions. She might
You don't wanna
accidentally.
ask Thorn.
Yeah, I think.
Oof. Lantern does not make a good first impression, and it kind of gets away from her, I think. Either that, or she is immediately swept up in somebody else doing something more interesting and totally forgets to even ask. I think that's one of those answers is what a 4 represents here.
You were going to ask someone, then you saw a street performer, and there goes Lantern.
How is he keeping them up in the air by throwing them? How do you catch that well? That's amazing!
Well,
Especially
Dori
since it's all
didn't do great, but I got an 11.
well enough while you're asking around. You don't. There's not a few places that cater specifically to delvers, unlike a Gossier. But the closer you are towards the outer parts of the city, you're more likely to meet, or you're more likely to find taverns that are more used to delver patrons.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Those are probably the ones we want then.
And you get kind of the feeling you're being directed in that direction as well. Like, keep in a kind of a keep the delver rabble out of the same
Honest God, fearing city.
Yeah, locals don't want the rowdy delvers messing up their local watering holes.
Basically, it's a please spend your money, but spend it over there situation.
Yeah.
Right? Give it to those guys who don't mind dealing with your nonsense.
You guys probably do have to extricate Lantern from the audience of a street performer while she excitedly informs you that they aren't even using magic, they're just throwing.
Vellos would be tempted to just try to scoop up Lantern.
She's not going to resist, but you are going to learn a lot about what she saw from the jugglers.
I mean,
Honestly, the more
easier
impressive
than
one was
trying-
the sword swallower.
easier to just scoop her up and take her with us than try to convince her to come away from
Sword
the...
Swallower wasn't really swallowing the sword. He just put it down his throat, but he couldn't swallow it because of the hilt. I think if he wanted to swallow it, he would have to use a different knife that doesn't have as big a handle.
Fascinating. The regret on
What else
Vellos'
about the
face
street
is-
show interested you?
There were bells, like the little jingly kind that ring, sewn onto the outfits. It was like the opposite of being sneaky. It was like, I want to get as much attention. I need to do something with this.
Outside of
And,
the dungeons.
Yes, Lantern, usually we need you being quiet and stealthy.
I have free time.
Make noise.
Free time is fine.
She is then silent in concentration as you see her imagining the noisiest outfit imaginable. Based on her occasional mutterings, you are all pretty sure that is what she is thinking about with that level of intensity.
Well, we'll see where this goes in the future.
I am very glad I'm not a tailor.
There are people who tail professionally?
That's the name you give to people who work with clothes.
Yes, like my father is a tailor.
She looks fascinated by this knowledge and stores it away for later.
So as you're walking along, you do find your way towards back. Not quite the same entrance you came in, but fairly close. You do find yourself standing at a tavern, which it's fairly noticeable that the door is not the same door as... Well, it's not the same wood as the rest of the building. The door looks newer.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Why do I get the feeling this thing gets regularly broken?
Oh, certainly.
I wouldn't be
It's a
surprised.
tavern for the most that specializes with the most rowdy people the city has.
Hey, Bruno,
Yeah.
sound like you're about 1,000,000 miles away.
That's weird.
Well,
There's a little reverb. Does sound like you're a bit distant. Heard what you said, though.
yeah.
Let me double check. It might have switched to the laptop itself instead of the headset.
That sounds like it could be it.
More than
Yeah,
likely.
I have to regularly confirm.
Yep, that's
where
exactly
mine
what it
is.
did.
Yep. I was about to ask. Let me guess. Your drivers for your microphone got updated.
No. Like the default is
Much better.
the
Yeah.
headset. So I don't know
Yeah.
why it moved to the other.
Every time, from what I've noticed, every time you're using a microphone that has specific software to it. Every time those drivers get updated, Windows swaps over to inbuilt or driverless mics for its audio.
Oh.
Yeah, mine resets itself every time because I have two laptops working off the same monitor and keyboard and such. And every time I switch off the personal laptop to go into the work laptop, it resets my
Anyways, back on
My
track.
sound.
The tavern you approach is called the Errant Fireball.
Oh, that's a good
Errant
name.
Fireball.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You can hear it is loud and lively in there. The shutters are open to let in the midday lights. There's a smell of food, drinks, and pipe tobacco readily rolling free from the windows, mingling together into a rather homely smell.
Could be
There's
worse.
something inviting and comfortable about it, though perhaps not people's most favorite thing to be smelling.
How busy does it look?
It looks fairly busy. You might be able to find a table somewhere in there, but it probably also wouldn't hurt to look around.
Well, if it's busy, then we're probably not going to be able to sell anything tonight. We can always ask him about it after we get dinner or lunch or whatever the time is. See if he'd be interested in it later
Not a bad idea.
when he's not
Yeah.
as
Ask to set
you
up
know.
a meeting, not just ask to sell right away.
Right?
Yep.
Because he'll probably want to sample the goods.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one's just going to buy alcohol point blank from random delvers that just came to town. As optimistic as I am, I'm not that optimistic.
No, but setting an appointment with someone, I feel like, is the right compromise because that way, we're not wasting his time at a time when his time is valuable if we've made an appointment.
Right?
True enough. Yep.
Especially if we set up an appointment and get dinner.
Yeah, well. Let's find
Well,
a
Lantern
table.
is always excited to try other people's cooking so she can, steal good ideas for herself.
Fair.
Not surprised. Well, let's head on in and find a table if we can. Sounds busy.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, as you come in, go ahead and give me, in your attempt to find a table, give me a perception check.
Anyone? I've got decent
Probably
perception.
not, unless you're keen with sitting on either Vellos's or Thorn's shoulders, and they're keen to let you do that. Probably not the smaller party members.
No, I think I'm probably still being carried under Velos's arm, so this might not be on me.
Yeah. It's not on Fiona either. She's also tiny.
Yeah.
She
Velos
sees
So
legs.
we've got a fairly small party size-wise, with two
Yeah.
notable
Two
exceptions.
It's
Dori's not
very...
too bad, but
All of it completely uncoordinated.
Yeah,
It
Yep.
just...
which makes it funnier.
Right?
True. Alright, I guess Velos will do one of the perception checks.
Okay.
hey, Thorn, what's your modifier to perception?
+0.
Okay, Dori will do the other one then.
Yes.
She has a whole big +1, so
Yes. I do have.
Velos is very perceptive
proficiency.
tonight.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Never mind.
Velos is tall enough that he can see all the tables.
Yes.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, Vellos. You're able to see well enough over the heads of seated patrons and bustling barmaids that you're able to find, surprisingly, a booth seat near the back.
Booth seat near the what?
Back.
Back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Your microphone just clipped on that last word.
How dare it?
Yeah.
Right?
How dare it indeed.
It's like
There's
I heard ba, and I didn't know if it was bar or back.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear the B.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, cut off at the for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like there's an open booth. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oh,
We'll
cool.
follow you, Vellos.
Yeah.
Luckily, you're not hard to lose. Or, yeah,
You're not hard
You-
to keep track of.
yes, you are hard to lose.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah. Dori's keeping an eye on the smaller people to make sure that we don't lose anybody.
Again, unless he has put me down by now, this is somebody else's problem.
Yeah, Dori's not too worried about Lantern right now. Lantern's taken care of. She's more keeping an eye on Fiona and Bruno.
Vellos just Vellos just carrying around the party kobold.
She's very amenable to carrying. She protests no amount. No protest. Fantastic. This works
Especially
great for her.
Especially since it is her favorite Vellos that is doing the carrying.
The situation could potentially be different if somebody else were trying to do this. Yes.
Only just.
Okay, well, booth table found and acquired.
Fiona will scramble onto her seat. She kind of has to hoist herself into it.
Yeah.
Vellos will gently set Lantern down.
It's not too bad, given the commonality of smaller races. There is kind of fold outs for both getting onto and seating yourself.
Booster seats included.
Woohoo!
Functionally.
Yay!
Makes sense when you've got such a variety of heights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Functionally, yeah.
So what's it look like in here?
So what it looks like is you've got about a dozen tables in kind of the middle of the room. The walls are lined with booth seating. You have a bar on one side that gives you a view of the kitchen area. And while the place isn't as packed as you initially thought it was, it's still a fairly busy kind of lunch rush sort of time.
Okay.
Lantern is definitely peeking into the kitchen looking for tips and tricks.
Lantern, this is probably the first time you've seen something along the lines of an assembly line. This is not,
It may be, yeah.
This is not the style of cooking you'd be familiar with or used to. Where you have
She stares at it for a long time before saying, casually, looks like learning to dance.
Probably the best way to describe a line cook's job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does take note of anything in the kitchen, food-wise, that she is not familiar with, because if you're going to cook food, if you're going to buy food from someone else who cooked it, you might as well at least try to get something you can't make yourself.
You're not seeing anything you're super unfamiliar with. At around this time, it's drinks, poultry, mostly. Poultry or pork, and what one could friendly refer to as a garden salad, wherever the garden might be located, is anyone's guess. And plenty of breads. And much like anywhere else in Mansk, magic is readily being used in the process of cooking, though it's definitely more of a dance than it is flaunting.
All right, so they are making practical use of it. They aren't just
Showing
using
off.
magic to use. Yeah.
Coincidentally, of the few show-offs you do see is in the form of tableside service in homemade ice cream.
She is definitely looking at how to. She knows how to make ice cream, and she knows what she's going to be asking Dori to help her with, because she's going to get a small barrel and fill it with the ice cream ingredients, roll it a distance across the ground to Dori, have her cast freezing magic on it, and roll it back.
What you're seeing instead is...
It might be more convenient, is what I'm saying.
What you're seeing instead is the use of a cold stone. Something along the lines of, like, if you had to give it a guess, probably a slab of granite that has been chilled repeatedly with casts of prestidigitation, and then the ice cream is prepared on the top of that.
I do not have that kind of rock, and I think a barrel might be easier to get. But if I had that kind of rock... She's muttering to herself.
Yes.
And didn't we say that Vellos needs to try this?
She is already planning to
absolutely.
make ice cream for him, but maybe, not her first try at ice cream. So it would probably be a good idea for him to get to try this delightful experience here,
Yeah.
where they seem to know how to make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in
Don't
for
worry,
a treat,
Vellos.
fellows.
It's good. It's good.
As you're staring at the situation, Vellos.
He seems deeply confused.
Maybe a little threatened.
A little bit.
Then if you were telling him about brain freeze,
No.
Why would we do that?
understood.
Oh, you bastards.
I don't know if Lantern has experienced it. She's only had ice cream like twice.
She might have, probably the first time, if she absolutely inhaled it.
She does
sounds
know
like
about brain
something
freeze
Lantern
then. Yeah, thinking about it.
Okay, so after a little while, a waiter is able to make his way over to your group. With an ask of if they can get you started with anything while getting out a small set, giving you guys some small single-page menus. There's about 5 items on there, so it's not exactly an area to pick from.
Yeah.
What if this is best?
The best, on my opinion, that would probably be, as the fox thinks for a minute, I'd probably go with the roast chicken dish, personally.
Ooh, I like roast chicken and dish. Let's get that.
All right. He quickly writes that down. And for the rest of you,
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, sounds
Works
good
for me.
here.
all right. And then he drinks.
What type of ales do you have?
We just have a few local brews here. It's mostly beers.
Okay, I'll try one of those.
Okay.
I'll do one.
We also have
Same.
a wine from one of the local towns. If you're interested in trying that.
Do you have any ciders or meats?
Unfortunately, no. It's just the beer and the wine.
I'll take the beer.
Okay.
I'll take the beer.
I'll take a beer.
All right.
I'll take a beer as well.
Okay. Easy enough.
Yeah, I'll try one.
Lantern?
Lantern, vividly remembering her first hangover, will just have some water, please.
Understandable.
Easy enough. That's written down, and he leaves to drop off the orders, leaving you guys to your own devices. Once again, for a few moments. Before he eventually does come back with the water for Lantern and it's impressive he's carrying all these drinks at once kind of deal in his hands as he sets down everyone's beers and Lantern's water.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Before you dash off to the rest of everybody, we need to speak with the proprietor here to set up an appointment to discuss something with him. I know right now is not a good time, so
Yes.
when
What
it's
is it
a
about?
bit more convenient.
We found some booze in a dungeon and might want to sell it.
Oh. I will let
Decent variety of it, too.
know. I will let him know. What kind of booze is it?
I believe it was cider, ale, and beer that we're selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Various types of ales.
I will let him know. He's always interested in getting something outside of the local productions.
Cool.
With that, he scurries back off.
Reasonable. He looks busy.
Yes.
Yeah,
And now a request for appointment has been made.
Yes.
And now we can just enjoy delicious roast chicken dish.
Right?
Yeah, you made it
Which
sound
after
very
about
good.
10-15 minutes does get brought to your table. It is thigh and leg meat with a garden salad and bread rolls.
Cool.
The beer itself, I'm not sure how to describe it because it's not the same as what you and I, in a modern sense, would know of as beer. This drink could easily sit itself as a side dish on its own or a breakfast,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
This is from back in the days where this was an important part of your daily calories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as a group of delvers, nobody's going to bat an eye over you all getting a pint of beer or something smaller for the smaller characters,
Right?
along with a regular meal.
Yeah.
We have been out on the road for a while.
A regular masked citizen would probably just have that pint for lunch
Mhm.
and nothing else.
Yeah.
Lantern is very quiet and contemplative when she eats, which is not a normal state for Lantern, but that's because we don't eat out much.
Fiona is just going to tuck in and devour her meal.
Probably the best approach. It's fairly standard diner fare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the spice they have in the gravy. I think I could do that. I could do that spice in a gravy.
I don't recall saying the gravy was on there. guess I wouldn't put gravy with a roast chicken, but that's me.
Oh, I'd put gravy on a roast chicken. You kidding me?
No.
Of course you would.
It's delicious.
Anyway. To each their own. Now the real question is, would you flag him down to get ice creams?
To get a what?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Yes, I think we would.
Hey.
Yep.
So that comes in a few flavors, which are just from the various berries in the area, farm-grown berries. There's one that's somewhat unfamiliar to you guys and would cost a little more, called Stardrop.
Lantern would be interested in this even if she has to subsidize the cost herself. She is very excited to try food she has not tried before. Always.
Dori thinks this sounds interesting and is willing to pay a little bit extra.
So for context, as
Fiona will have one of the regular flavors she's more familiar with.
Since it's his first time, might as well go with the more exotic one, I guess.
So for context, this would be a for tavern fare. This would be a modest 3 silver per person. The Stardrop ice cream is going to cost 3 silver, whereas the regular stuff is just going to cost a silver.
I'll pay 3 silver for Starberry.
Yeah. So will
Okay.
Dori.
Same.
Bruno's not feeling overly adventurous. He'll just get a standard flavor.
Right, raspberry for
Yep.
now.
So same for
Thorn will
Fiona.
not get ice cream.
Okay, so somebody else comes over to do the tableside service.
Lantern is watching like she's taking notes.
So, have you ever seen a street side ice cream prepared?
No, but I've seen Cold Stone Creamery.
Okay, so kind of the same deal where you put, in this case, so it's the cream is placed onto the cold stone, is gradually rolled up until it begins to ice and solidify. And once that's rolled up, then the berries are placed, aggressively chopped, and mixed in with the ice cream.
Right, I think I've seen videos of this,
Yes.
of that process.
Before being served. The Stardrops are... They're a blue... You almost would think them look strawberries, but they're a smooth-skinned blue berry, rather than having a divoted surface.
Mm-hmm.
And those are used instead. The internal juices turns the dish green, with little chunks of blue skin floating around in the ice cream as that's served up.
Huh.
Cool.
Oh. Oh,
Now,
never
the
seen that kind of berry before.
flavor of the Stardrop is very floral and leaves something of an electric tingle in your mouth.
Ooh, it tastes like I ate a handful of violets and then a handful of lightning.
What?
I could live with that, yeah.
Now, it's noted she only used 1 berry for the Stardrop. And these are about the size of a strawberry, rather than like a small handful of raspberries in the regular stuff.
Right.
That's pretty potent. Huh.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Well, let's see what all the fuss is about this ice cream stuff, Vellos would say. as he
Lantern
takes
watches
this
you with
bite.
great excitement.
Fiona as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even after it's placed in front of him and as he's taking the bite, he still looks skeptical of all the fuss.
A little apprehensive
A little bit.
until that floral sweetness and electric tingle hits your tongue.
Mm. What the hell?
Because you got the star drop, correct?
Yeah, he
Yes.
did.
Yep.
He just has a dumbfounded look on his face after that first bite.
This is really good. The stuff I made with Ben just had mint and honey in it, but this is really good.
I
I mean, even this raspberry stuff is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I didn't
Yep.
even know there was a food like this.
There's a lot of food that I didn't know there was a food like, and then I found it, and it was great. It's an exciting world out there, Mr. Shiny.
Fair enough. As he starts to dig in, clearly quite happy with it.
How fast are you eating it?
Probably at a good pace. It's delicious. And he's never had anything like it before.
Poor
Get
Vellos.
this freezing feeling at the back of your palate slowly building into a pressure up into your skull as you're shuffling it down with eagerness.
Why do I feel funny? Ow.
Bruno starts chuckling a little.
Ow!
Bruno has been eating slowly.
This pressure builds towards something that's in your entire head. It feels like a block of ice has been crammed in there.
Oh, why does it feel like I just got hit in the head with ice magic?
Oh!
Ooh,
Oh!
brain freeze!
Put your tongue against the roof of your mouth! Put your tongue against the roof of your mouth!
What?
It's the only way to save yourself!
Vellos has probably gripping the side of his head.
Yeah, something like that. As he skeptically follows Lantern's advice.
That's just
Pressing-
something that happens if you eat cold things too fast.
Pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth is, in my experience, the only way to prevent yourself from feeling like your head is melting on the inside and also the outside all at once.
You all knew this was a thing?
We've all
Everybody
experienced
has
it.
to experience once.
Yes.
Oh, go to hell, all of you.
Thorn looks at you like, what did I do?
Why?
Except
Is
for
there ice
Thorn.
cream there?
Thorn. Getting hairy.
If something was asked, I missed it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
What was that?
I think Lantern said something, but I missed it.
Oh. I have no idea.
She said she does not want to go to hell because there is no ice cream there and there is ice cream here, so.
That is valid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the place... This place at the very least doesn't seem to offer rooms, so it's more of a regular eatery. But also you still have a good chunk of your day left. Should there be anything else you desire to do?
I think we're going to hang around to see if the owner wants to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
When your fox waiter returns to collect payment for the meals, he does let you know that the owner would be interested if you could check in later in the evening when things have significantly slowed down.
Sure.
Sounds good.
We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Do we want to try to go find somewhere to sell this weird-looking rat skull?
Oh right, didn't the proprietor of the
Something called the Emerald Candle?
That would be
yeah
it.
the jeweler pointed us in the direction of a magic shop that might be interested. I think I forget the name though.
Yeah. Emerald Candle.
Yep.
Yep.
How dare you, phone?
Yeah, we can go look for the Emerald Candle, see if we can find someone who wants to buy this.
Absolutely.
Do we have any other potentially magic items we could sell?
Just the sapphire, but I'm keeping this for now.
Yeah.
I think
we're
we want to
keeping
keep
that.
the sapphire.
I don't think they'd be interested in the hand mirror or the brushes, but we can try.
Yeah, only other thing is the camera, but I'm keeping that for obvious reasons.
Right?
Yeah.
Most of the actual magical weapons and armor that we got we are using.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't think we got any actual armor, but
No, just weapons.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. But we definitely don't need this skull thing.
No.
Alright.
As you're thinking back on it.
I don't need this. It's very creepy.
A little unnerved.
Little bit.
Well, I do not blame you, because if someone was carrying around a kobold skull, I think I would find that troubling.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why.
Just a little
Like,
unnerved by the fact that
I would
it's
need
a-
an explanation, is all I'm saying.
Probably also an explanation as to why it's got horns when rats typically don't have horns.
That's also
Right?
a question worth pursuing, but they could have added that later when they were adding all the jewels.
Oh no, those horns and spikes look like they had grown from the skull.
That is troubling.
Yeah. It's very weird. I will be happy to get rid of it.
So rude to this skull that probably never had an owner.
Well, yeah, nothing against the skull or anything, but
It's not the skull's
not her
fault.
style.
I don't think anyone here is blaming the skull. The
No.
skull is blameless in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever made the skull,
Okay.
Lantern has some
Under that.
reservations about.
Okay, so you're heading back into the sort of shopping area.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yep.
We got some lunch. We set up an appointment for later. Now we got time to go back into town.
Okay, and you're able to find, having been given previous directions before, and having recently come from that area, you're able to get back to the shopping area, the market district, fairly enough.
Excellent.
Looking around, it's not hard to spot the emerald candle. It's got a sign that hangs out above the street, fairly visible, written in Elementian. And instead of just a picture, it's actually got an emerald candle floating in front of the sign on both sides with a green flame.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm back.
You know,
Come back.
that's a good way to advertise it's a magic store.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately,
Yeah.
it's Mansk, so the
This is
blacksmith could
true.
very well have similar advertising.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw like somebody selling sausages with similar animatics, you know?
Probably did pass a street vendor doing just that.
They really get excessive with the magic flaunting here.
I think it's exciting. If you have all of these exciting things you can do, why not make it a basic part of your infrastructure?
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so
All
are you
this
going
seems
inside?
excessive. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you enter, the first thing, it's a little bit busy. There's a few other people browsing, but given the way they're browsing, they're probably more along lines of window shopping. I wish I could afford this kind of browsing.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, there are a number of items in all of them in locked cases. Scrolls, magic jewelry. A couple of magic gems, but you get the feeling that he probably doesn't carry too many. The shopkeeper doesn't carry too many of those. And speaking of said shopkeeper, who appears to be restocking a case for magic regents, is a squirrel who, even by Celerine standards, at least Element's Celerine standards, is eccentrically dressed in such a way that it looks like he got into a fight with a clothing store and lost while claiming victory.
Lantern looks very excited by his dynamic outfit.
It's something, all right.
Fiona is a little bit skeptical.
He's wearing a very
Dori looks
stereotypical.
rather horrified.
He's wearing a very stereotypical wizard robe with a wide-brimmed hat. The robes are held open, leaving visible the fact that he's wearing above-the-knee shorts and a muscle shirt that's a size too large for himself.
Fantastic.
Vellos just looks incredulous at this.
However, the store
Dori-
itself is spared from his fashion sense.
Dori tries to keep the judgment off of her face. It's anybody's guess as to how well she succeeds.
Give me a performance check.
Okay.
Fiona doesn't try, but she's not the one doing the talking.
Lantern has nothing to hide. She is visibly and obviously delighted by this man's bold choices.
$21.
You are keeping your disgust inward.
Yeah. Fiona is looking at the outfit skeptically. Trying to decide if this is a choice or supposedly maybe a uniform for the shop for some weird reason.
Regardless of what it is, you're kind of glad he has digigrad feet, disabling his ability to wear shoes.
A little bit.
He turns to face you all as you come in, with a bold smile on his face, completely missing some of the judgmental stares at his outfit.
Probably for the best.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, welcome in to the Emerald Candle. How can I help you all today?
Dori goes for the, asks Fiona if she can have the skull.
Yep. Fiona will hand it over.
And Dori will display it in her hands and say, we were looking to see if we might be able to find a purchaser for this fine item.
Ooh.
Recently
Huh.
found in a dungeon.
Oh. I was about to ask who the unfortunate person was that didn't have quite the good looks as either a sheep or a rat, but it was found in a dungeon. That is a completely different story.
Yes, we have no idea who the original owner of the skull was.
Oh, me neither, but if those gems and gold wasn't added posthumously, they had clearly had at least a decent sense of fashion.
It's hard to say. We don't know if this is something that was ever alive at all because it was in a dungeon, you know?
Oh, yes. That does complicate things when weird things just kind of pop up.
Happen.
Yeah.
But problem is I'm not sure anybody around here would actually want to purchase something like this. At least not in Mansk. Having a decorated skull in your home might get you accused of some things that you aren't doing.
Like making skulls.
Something like that. But it is a dungeon item. You have to look around a little bit more to find a purchaser.
Okay.
And it looks like those gems are pretty well in there. That wouldn't be easy to get out. I don't even think the owner of the Crystal Eye would be able to get those out without damaging them too much.
It's fair.
You may need to try somewhere else.
Yeah, you may need to look further up north if I had to throw out a guess. They got a better taste for these things.
That's fair.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely worth a shot.
Yeah.
Good to keep in mind if we head up that way.
Since they're in the store, Fiona's going to take a look around.
Oh, Lantern absolutely wants to take a look around.
And he's happy to let you all browse. The store has a selection of spell scrolls and spell tomes, along with the less plant-based spell regents.
So things like crystals and shit that you're not just going to pick up on the street.
Yeah. One thing you
Potions?
do notice, potions? He doesn't seem to have
Yeah.
any potions.
Huh.
Do you ask? Or are you just browsing?
Just browsing for right now.
Okay. So surprisingly, despite the nature of the shop, he doesn't carry anything ingestible.
At least not out in the open.
Yeah.
Fair.
Is there anything specifically people might be looking at?
Oh, basically anything shiny.
Yes, there's plenty of enchanted jewelry in locked cases. All of it politely labeled in elements.
Lantern will lean over to someone in the party who speaks elements, presumably, I think Dori does.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And whisper, "What does that say?"
Dori will read out any placards or what have you that Lantern is interested in.
The first one that says "do not touch," because I'm assuming at least a couple of them say "do not touch, ask for assistance." She looks visibly disappointed.
Thankfully, there's nothing labeled that because they're all behind lock and key.
Reasonable. And Lantern at this point has picked up the social skills to know that if they lock that, it's the same as saying "don't touch."
Though there are a few. What you do see as far as the shinier items goes, a few amulets, general trinkets of various sorts, and rings.
Ooh.
Some of them are more suited for your use, others are suited for more everyday life in the city.
Mhm.
Like there's a thimble cap that has been enchanted so needles can't pass through it. With the key note that this will not protect you from sword swings. This seems to be pointed directly at Delvers.
Lantern has several questions about an engagement ring type item she sees. Questions including things like, so does the one who offers her the biggest ring win or what?
I think it kind of depends on the party getting the ring and
Oh,
a
I
number
get
of
it. So he
other
can give her
rings?
he can give her kind of a bad ring if he's cute enough that she's going to go for him anyway. But
Well, the idea is that he's going to get her something that indicates how he feels about her. So if he gets her a bad ring, it's kind of saying, not really into you.
oh,
You know, that's kind of, but at the same time, if he doesn't have much money, then if she really likes him, that comes into play.
okay. So if he can't get her a good one because he doesn't have enough money and he's not good enough at stealing.
Stealing is generally considered bad form when it comes to engagement rings. Yes.
Got it. Because then the guy who owns it might get mad and come after you when he sees you wearing it. I get it. And you didn't even steal it, so that would be really rude.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She carries on this conversation for quite some time, not seeing anything that she finds actually applicable to her life.
So,
She just has questions about all the other things.
so yes, there are some actual rings and amulets in there that would be beneficial to the party. A few protective items.
Are they labeled on what they do, or they just say like protective ring?
They are described in what they do. Mechanically speaking, it's items like +1 rings of defense. There are as well amulets with the same nature. A few that are loaded with spell charges that recharge on a day.
Is there anything that seems specifically aimed at bards?
You're not seeing any musical instruments specifically. There are a few arcane folky, but
Yeah, that's
he might also just not have them out.
yeah.
You said that some of the rings had I think I missed a word, some kind of nature?
Either protective or offensive nature. Like mechanically speaking.
What do we have offensively?
Offensively? Aside from a few rings that work basically like +1 arcane focus, you are looking at a few rings that are charged with a few either cantrips or first level offensive spells. Specifically, you do see a ring of Firebolt, with which for the cantrip items you can basically just use those. There is a glove of shocking grasp. As for first level spells, you do see, and this you do see a ring of magic missile and a wand of identify are some of the things that stand out immediately to you.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
What was what again?
The last item you said.
Wand of identify.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Sorry, let me bring my microphone closer to myself. I had to move it because I was setting stuff up. At one point I'll get city maps set up, but I am working on those, just not right now.
That's fair.
But they are coming,
cool.
Soon, trademark.
basically.
Well, Dori and Lantern are looking at some of the accessories. I guess Fiona will ask the squirrel if there's a reason there's no potions.
Ah, potions. I do carry a few potions in the back. I just haven't gotten around to setting them out yet. But if you're looking for a bigger variety of potions, I think the Endless Decanter would be a good place to start with. There's a few other potion shops in town, but that is the closest one in this particular area,
Okay.
and might be more serviceable to delvers like yourself.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So, I will say if you're looking for healing potions specifically, you might want to go to one of the towns, the local towns outside of Mansk. We don't have,
Is there a reason?
Yes, we don't have an herbalist in the city itself. We haven't for at least 12 years now.
That seems strange.
So since the war?
Yes.
That seems odd.
The problem, well, it's a case of logistics, really. When the closest town is about 2 to 4 hours away on foot, it's easy enough to just head out and get potion and get healing items that way, or just have them ordered in.
I mean, that's fair. It's not that far.
No.
I'm sure the herbalists enjoy having more space to grow their own stuff too.
And that's the biggest thing. A lot of those items for making potions don't last very long after being picked. Or they lose a lot of potency when in the preservation process. So
Yeah.
But still, if you're after any other kinds of potions, the Endless Decanter is definitely a place I would recommend. Just between you and me, I suggest only coming in during the weekdays between midday and evening.
Why not mornings or weekends?
because her assistants are in during the weekdays, on the evenings. And she's in a constant war with gravity.
What?
She's
she has
old.
2 left feet and is all thumbs.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Ah. I see.
Yes.
She sounds very strange looking, says Lantern, rejoining the conversation.
Oh, Lantern.
So pure, so innocent.
Her thumbs left also?
Sorry, what?
You said she's all thumbs, and also she has 2 left feet.
Oh,
And I'm
nice.
curious if the thumbs are all left also. Or
It's
if there's a
figure of
mix.
speech.
She looks up at him, expectant, waiting for an answer.
You'll have to explain the figure of speech to her, sir.
Oh dear. As he makes his best attempt to explain what that means.
When he looks like he could use a break, Dori will ask him how much the wand of identify would cost.
The wand?
Mhm.
It's a little bit up there as far as magic items go. But it's not too expensive at about 1,000 gold.
Okay. Thank you.
Slight bit of panic there.
No
Little bit.
panic, just not she's got the spell. She can manage it.
You do eventually see Lantern become satisfied with the man's explanation, thank him profusely, write something down in her notes that she carries around to write recipes in, and walk off completely satisfied to look at more shiny objects. He did a great job, and it only took him about 8 minutes.
Yeah, no, aside from that at-home stuff, which goes between the 10 to 100 gold, things easily sit in the stuff that you guys would be more interested, anywhere between the 100 to 2,000 gold area.
Yeah.
Question.
Answer.
Does a defense ring count as armor?
No.
Okay. Okay. Is that something to plan or think about in the future for Fiona?
Among those items, for those interested, he does sell crystal glass marbles.
Now that Lantern is very interested in.
And what is their purpose? Or is it just pretties?
There is a purpose. There we go. Everything's working again. Things hitched for a second. These items do actually hold a purpose, as they're labeled as empty essence gems. and priced at about 65 gold a piece.
Oh.
What are those?
You would know. You specifically, Fiona, would know with your arcane training that these items are used in fields of enchantment.
Ah. So along the same way that the raw fire essence we have would be used?
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas these gems are used for storing the magical energy you would use to then charge something, the fire essence you have would be used for tuning something towards fire.
Yeah.
Whether that is to deal fire damage or to ward off the cold, or other purposes therein.
Fiona will explain that to Lantern as she expresses interest in the empty marbles.
Ooh, so if you charge it with fire stuff, it gets fiery?
Yeah, you can use it to make something. If you charge it with fire, you could use it to make something like, I don't know, off the top of my head, something along the lines of my hammer.
Because it works with the fire from blacksmithing?
No, the enchantment on my hammer is fire based.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that, but that makes sense. It feels very fiery.
Yeah, wait till you see me hit somebody wearing metal with it.
Oh, I will wait very excitedly for that, Mr. Shiny.
Are you able to enchant when you make stuff, Vellos? Or you just make the stuff?
Enchanting, you would know, is a separate process.
It's a separate process.
Ah.
With the right he would be able to do the enchanting process if he had something, right?
If you have the items on hand, yes, you would be able to go through the enchanting process.
Right.
But it's a separate process from actually crafting an item.
Right, you need to. Right. I would need an item to enchant and the materials to enchant it, but I could enchant something with the proper materials.
Okay. Well, if you ever need empty essence gems, you know where to find some.
True.
Lantern stares at the essence gems for a long time, and then at Vellos for a slightly shorter time, and then back to the essence gems. She mutters something in Draconic, so I think that Vellos would be the only person who understood it. And I'll tell you right now, you don't know what one of those words mean, and the other ones are self-heating pan. Self-heating ? Pan is specifically what you would basically read what she mutters to herself as.
I mean, you could enchant a pan to heat itself.
She looks startled that you heard her, and then delighted that she was right.
Bells just gives Lantern a look. I can understand Draconic. That should be obvious.
Yes, I know. But I was speaking very softly, Mr. Shiny, and you still heard it, and I think that is very impressive.
Fair enough.
Oh boy. Poor Vellos.
He has a kobold now.
He
Yes.
does.
Yes, he does.
He does.
And she has ideas.
Vellos is concerned.
Perhaps correctly so. Hard to say for certain at this juncture.
Alright, well. Guess we'll be hanging on to the weird skull and the Stein thing for now.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. You're going to show the Stein to the tavern keep anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So, anything you guys are purchasing here, or are we just...
How much were the +1 rings of defense?
Those are going to run you about... let me actually get to the page there.
Ooh.
You guys are no longer in Gossier. You've left the tutorial zone. You are not getting a discount.
That's fair.
Fair.
Are you looking at a ring or an amulet specifically?
Either or.
Okay.
A ring might be easier for Fiona to wear.
So, ring of... let me find it so I can determine its rarity.
Yeah. Because Fiona knows she's quick on her feet, but any little extra helps.
Yep.
Because wearing all that heavy cloth or the actual metals will just slow her down.
Yeah.
Ring. Okay, here we go. Okay, ring of protection. That is priced at presently that's sitting at around 600 gold.
Ooh.
That's
And the amulet's more?
Amulet's about the same price.
Okay. That'll be an idea to keep in mind for the future.
Yeah.
Fiona does not have that to spend right now.
What about that the Ring of Magic Missile?
That ring of magic missile is sitting closer to 400.
Okay. No funds right now, but that's definitely something Thorn might come back for.
Right?
Ooh. Actually, are there... Do you have any items that would help you see in the dark?
What kind of item? A few. What might you be looking at specifically? I have some ever-burning torches and candles. Those aren't...
Something that would leave my hands free would be ideal.
Okay, anything Any particular style you were thinking of? There's a few items I've got.
Uh,
I have this. I have an amulet here that can glow on a command word, shedding fairly bright light. Just you can also use it for dramatic entrances because it'll definitely outline your body in shadow. He said with a laugh.
well, I'm definitely not going to be stealthy anytime soon, but that might be an issue for the rest of my party in a fight.
Another thing I have, you're looking for something a little more helpful for just yourself, is a set of goggles.
Ooh. What would those run?
Those would run about 300 gold. He says while pulling out a pair of goggles that kind of look like owl's eyes and beak. While looking specifically at you, Vellos, and looking at the goggles, they'll fit. Maybe strap, but they'll fit.
Okay. Well,
Just don't wear them in the middle of the day.
do I even want to know what that would do?
You ever stare in the sun?
Okay, I get the idea. Ow. Duly noted.
It's
Well,
best not. Be like
I
looking
don't
at
have
Abad's glory directly.
only got 100 on me right now, but we still need to sell stuff and portion our spoils out afterwards. So might come back if I have the funds.
Well, I can set them aside for you for a day, and if you're not back by the end of tomorrow, I'll put them back up on the shelf then.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I will definitely be back if I can afford them.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Do you have any rings with Verasta's symbol on them? Kind of like a ring instead of an amulet for a holy symbol?
Don't have anything like that. You may want to check out the. I don't want to call it a temple because it's definitely not that. A little bit of a gambler's den, I suppose. Legalized gambling in.
That sounds about right for Verasta.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's alright. They might be willing to sell you a set of their dice.
Oh, it's not dice that I'm asking for. It's specifically a ring.
Well, I mean, it's still dice. Be it a ring, an amulet, the actual dice themselves.
No, like
No. I
with
understand what you're
an
saying.
emblem.
I understand what you're saying.
His emblem is a set of dice.
I don't want a physical set of dice.
Yes,
I
no,
just want it basically etched in.
understand. They're still called dice.
Oh. Okay.
Yes. He says while suspiciously looking at you, trying to figure out whether or not you might actually be Verasta.
Just out of it for the day.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, I have plenty else to attend to here.
Thank you
Of
so much for
course.
your time.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, good sir.
And as everyone departs with a conversation that might have definitely had been held with Vrost at some point.
All right, where else do we want to go?
Lantern would like to go to a place where you can buy cooking supplies, food, and or barrels.
All
She
right,
needs,
general
you know what?
store.
She needs barrel less. She is going to look and see if she can find one of those cold stones, though. Like the stone that you get colds.
We'll start general store.
The general store will not carry the stone slabs, and suggests one of the masons at the edge of town who do construction stuff.
If they give her a specific address, Lantern writes it down and will go there later. But in the meantime, she would like to buy ingredients.
Specific address is not given, but there are ingredients to purchase for cooking, as well as preserved foods, whether that's dried and salted or pickled or what have you.
Do you think the general store will be interested in the hand mirror or the ivory brushes?
You could ask.
Okay, because I don't think there's anything magical about these, so.
I remember when you guys went through with identifying things, you found those quickly weren't magical.
Yes.
So he would be interested in purchasing those. Just bring up, because I actually had a value for those, so let me just bring that up real quick. Okay.
Unless Dori wanted the hand mirror.
No. Dory's
Okay.
looking for something a little bit larger, but thank you.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he's willing to take the ivory brushes off your hands for 15 gold for both of them. And the mirror itself, he's willing to buy for 13 gold.
Okay, so that's 28 for both items.
For all three items.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sound good to you guys?
Sounds great to me.
Sounds good to me.
All
right.
Fiction here.
Okay. He happily takes those off your hands and sets them aside for cleaning up and straightening out.
Looking at ingredients, I need about 16 pounds of generic cooking ingredients. Looking at my inventory. How much am I paying for it?
Pay for that. Just 16 pounds of travel goods. Whole thing planned, and we've turned into a shopping session. It happens. You're probably looking at about for 16 pounds. You said.
Let's make it 16 pounds.
You're probably looking at something along the lines of 8 silver.
I will pay 8 silver happily.
Assuming you might be less than that, might be closer to 4 silver. This is assuming you're getting a mix of dried meats.
Yeah, just generic stuff I'm gonna cook.
Dried meats, flour, pickled veg.
Yeah.
Just stuff for cooking.
Yeah, no, that's
Yep.
gonna run you about 4 silver.
All right, that will bring me back up to a nice round amount in my inventory. and I will happily pay 4 silver for that.
Okay. So,
Yay, cooking ingredients.
yep.
Yep. Yay,
Yay!
lantern food.
Yep.
She would also like to purchase cream, honey, and mint. Because we can eat that. We can eat the ice cream she plans to make with this in town. I would say enough to make a reasonable batch of ice cream for the group, not enough to like really count as travel supplies.
Cream and honey, cream and mint, that's easy enough to get a hold of. However, you're a little too far, or you're a little too close to the mountains for mint to grow, so he does not have that presently.
She will sniff other sweet spice herbs and purchase one that she determines to be acceptable.
There is a few. If you're looking for something with just more of a general floral sweetness.
Something that'd be good in ice cream, basically.
There's a few. They're still going to run you around the same, probably gold for that.
For the cream and the
Just for
herbs.
the herbs.
Got it.
Just for the herbs and spice.
You know what? I'm still gonna, in pursuit of culinary science, pay for that.
The cream and honey is a lot cheaper. At the cost of silvers.
So 1 gold, 2 silvers sounding like?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to add this to my inventory as ice cream ingredients.
Reasonable. Yeah, as you realize that the fact that Mance kind of borders the mantle leading into Aurea, it's just a little too cold for Mint's preference, naturally.
Fair enough. I don't know that Lantern knows anything about where herbs grow yet, other than in pots and in the ground.
And that potatoes just do not care.
Either way, she's gonna try to find one of those stones and see what she can do with it. But in the meantime, she might as well get the ingredients. And if she cannot, in fact, find the stone, she can always cook all of these ingredients into something else that will be delicious. It is not hard to leverage cream, sugar, and herbs into a dessert.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, Lantern.
Intelligence check?
Yes.
I think that's a flat roll for me. No, I have a way bigger modifier in that than I realized. Oh no, that's an intelligence save. That is a +0. Okay, cool. 8.
You almost get the feeling you might have something that could substitute the stone, because you know that the person making the ice cream had cast cooling magic on the stone. The stone itself is just a regular piece of rock.
That's the thing, though. I don't have a good smooth piece of rock. Obviously, I've considered using the sapphire for this purpose, but it's not big enough. So I would need something that's big enough and also conducts temperature well. And it has not occurred to Lantern that potentially a frying pan would work for that if you cooled it off enough. She thinks there might be something specifically about the stone, and I think with an intelligence check of 8, she maybe isn't getting away from that assumption.
No, it's almost there, but the thought is eluding her, like a butterfly.
Tip of her brain.
Grip. But you're wandering back and forth across the city. Does eat up a few hours into the day. The sun is starting to set.
Shall we go back to the tavern and see if things have settled down there?
Sure, we can
I
definitely
think
go
that
check.
sounds smart.
Yeah.
And if it's still busy, we can wait a little bit longer for it to slow down.
Yeah.
As you return to the errant fireball, walking down the street, people are... You see a few people specifically setting about lighting street torches, which is interesting notion that that's even a specific job because they are just using prestidigitation to ignite them. But off they go as you make your way through the dwindling crowds of the city and eventually reach the errant fireball where it's a more relaxed pace at this hour. Most likely in part to the fact that this establishment specifically only specializes in food and drink and doesn't have any rooms. And you're all standing outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if it looks quieter, I guess we can go in.
Definitely sounds quieter. And as you head in, it's not nearly as crowded as it had been when you first came in.
Oh, good.
A few booths and a few tables are occupied, but there's little enough going on that the evening staff is largely hanging out chatting around the bar.
Now that's a much more promising time to do business.
Yes.
Yes. I guess we'll go up and ask if the owner is free for our meeting.
As you approach the bar counter to ask, a rather ordinary-looking lupin fellow waves you guys over as he gets up. Ah, there you guys are. I was told you'd be showing up. Said you
And
had
here
a
we
few
are.
barrels of mead you got out of a dungeon you were interested in selling.
Well, ale and beer mostly, but yes.
Okay. Well, I can assume you guys at least tasted it yourselves.
It was extremely good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lantern actually at this point starts going through her notes because she took tasting notes of everything she tried. And she finds the notes specific to the barrels that we actually still have and not the ones we left.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she discusses with the... I would say it's obvious she's read food criticism before, based on what she reads out to him on the types of booze that we have.
As you start reading off, he gives a hearty chuckle. That well, you got yourself a little food critic here. Would like to give them a try myself though, just to make sure before purchasing anything.
Oh,
Of course.
absolutely.
Of course.
We have the bank on our wagon.
I would assume so. If you're willing to lead me over in that direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do it.
And as he follows, and as him and one of his employees follows you, You gradually make your way back to where your wagon is parked, and looking around, it's a little crowded. There are a lot of wagons that have been parked here with horses stabled in such a way that you realize you might not actually be able to get away with camping out in your wagon here. Offloading cargo wouldn't be difficult, but actually camping out...
There's not really enough room for a campfire, is what you're saying.
Correct.
That would make it very difficult for Lantern to cook.
Yes. At least for now.
But you are able to find your wagon well enough.
Excellent.
Lantern would happily lead them to the barrels, which she has labeled with more of the same roll of paper she's been keeping notes on.
Opening it up. He looks over, takes a sniff, immediately recoils. Oh, that is powerful.
Right?
Oh, wow.
It tastes like being punched in the face, but delicious.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
I think it was a dwarf dungeon.
I'm not too familiar with dungeon monsters myself, but
Apparently they like booze.
Apparently.
noted.
Seems to.
There was more we had to leave behind because they were too big to bring.
When you mean
Yeah.
too big, how big are we talking about?
Full-size casks.
Barrels. Yeah. The big ones.
Okay. That is big.
The smallest one was maybe 4 or 5 times my height.
Yeah, no,
Definitely
that's-
more than twice.
Yeah, I can see why you left those behind. You wouldn't have to
We
know where,
were-
would you?
I actually made a map.
Ooh.
Yes. That is for sale.
And if you like these, I am willing to sell the map so you can get access to the 4 large casks. Because I believe those were a higher quality, like actual meads, or were they actual whiskeys? I don't remember.
They were higher proof, I believe.
Yeah, they were a higher.
Yeah.
What you have on you is spice ciders, meads, and ales. Whereas the casks had higher quality ciders and higher proof drinks.
Yeah.
You don't actually have any beer in these barrels.
Okay.
Okay.
He gives a little bit of a chuckle. Okay. I probably wouldn't serve them at my place, but I would definitely be willing to buy these.
Excellent. We're selling 5 of them.
Okay, how much are you selling them for? You're willing to negotiate a price.
Ooh, now that is the question, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Fiona wouldn't happen to know how much a barrel of alcohol goes for, would she?
Feel free to give me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Vellos sure as hell does not know this.
No.
Lantern does not know the market price of most things.
Oh, straight roll. Okay.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
That is a 5. Fiona has no idea.
Shit.
You drink, you don't buy. Anyone else willing? I'll take one more roll.
I'll do an intelligence. Well, I mean, if nobody else wants to do it, I don't have any modifiers to an intelligence check.
I've got a +1 intelligence modifier.
You do better than me.
You do better than me.
Bruno, you got anything that?
I'm double checking my intelligence modifier. As soon as roll 20 will go over. I've also only got a +1 to intelligence.
Fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Yep.
That's the wrong chat channel. Well, much better than Fiona, at least.
Right?
Well, you do know the average going price for a
I'm back.
welcome back. You do know the average going price for a gallon of ale is 2 silver, and you do know the cost of a barrel. And these are 40-gallon barrels.
So somewhere around 8 gold a barrel.
Now that's just for your typical tavern fare.
So it would make sense to suggest something like 100.
Probably not.
No. Probably close to, like, if we want to highball it, 15 gold piece a barrel. But that's
I
highballing.
was thinking, I was off by a factor. I meant 10.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we can go up to 15.
Yeah. But if we want to, like, just make it reasonable, 10 it would probably be more reasonable for.
I would say that given we are motivated to sell this, 10 makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space in our cargo being taken up.
Right?
How about 10 gold a barrel?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. How many barrels are you selling?
5
5 of them. Yeah, I can do that. I can have my guys come by in the morning and pick up.
Sure. We'll separate the 5 that we're selling off from the other 3.
Sounds good.
Yep.
And as for the map, you said it was those really big casks?
Yes.
Yeah. Had a whole storeroom full of them.
Which do you want the map for?
Fiona should know how much a well-made map goes for.
Yes, she should.
It's less about the map and what he's gonna get from the map.
Right?
Well, it's both.
Yeah, but given, again, that this is bonus money, I don't think hardballing him is the way to go.
Yeah, not hardballing.
Especially since he'd have to pay to have someone go and collect it and then bring it back. And so basically he's paying for the map.
I think basing it on the map price makes a lot more sense than basing it on the price of what he might actually get there.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantees.
How much would a well-made map go for?
You would know that a well-made map of what is basically the local area where that dungeon is located in would easily run at between 5 and 10 gold.
Okay. Fiona will highball it, since he will be getting a profit off of the mead once he actually gets it. So she will show him the map first and go 10 gold and it's yours. So he can see that it is a well-made map, full of markers and actual directions and lists of what's where. And
Landmarks and keys.
I am going to need to hire a runner to check out the area first. That was about 8 gold.
I can do that.
Okay. We can go ahead and do that right now if you like.
Yeah.
He reaches into his pocket, counting out 7 gold and 10 silver, and handing that over for the map.
Fiona will double count it as she hands over the map.
That is in fact 7 gold and 10 silver.
Excellent.
Very good.
She hands him the map, and it's his. And I will delete that out of my inventory.
Yay!
Yay!
Deleting things out of the inventory.
Right?
Did we want to bring up the Stein?
Oh, yeah. We also have this little thing that we also got from that same dungeon.
You see his eyes light up as you pull out the stein.
I'm glad I remembered that now.
Oh. Oh, you have one of these.
One of
I've had a few
these?
other crews come through with these. And I've been looking for a 5th one.
Oh?
And nobody's been selling.
Ah.
Well, it came from the same dungeon as all of this alcohol, so...
Oh,
We're pretty sure the
dungeons.
picture is of one of the types of guy who made it.
Oh, that doesn't matter much. I had no intention of using it for drinking. This was going to go up into a display.
Ooh.
Don't have the money on me, but if you're willing to come back in the morning, we
Oh,
We're
can
already
absolutely.
sending people over in the morning. If you want, we can just pack it along then.
I know I have to do opening, so
Oh, got it.
Understandable.
Yeah, we could at least stop by in the morning.
Yeah.
okay. Well, he looks around, taking a note of where your wagon is parked.
Presumably, so we can send the runners for the barrels.
Yep.
Yes.
And with that, he departs. You guys with more gold, him with the map.
Yep.
Yep.
Hooray for a free 58 gold pieces. Well, not free,
Yeah.
but easy.
Well. Yeah.
We just had to think about it for a minute. It's like, how much does alcohol sell for?
Hmm.
Speaking of alcohol, let's
Lantern.
Go ahead and
take a quick
Lantern.
not collect any.
As celebration, Lantern is going to offer up cups of mead. Not pints.
Yep.
Cups.
Fiona will accept that cup.
So
Yep.
will Dori.
Alright,
Lantern
I'll
learned
be
her
right
lessons.
back.
She learned her lesson.
Right.
All right, and in the meantime, we can probably quickly separate out the 5 that we are selling, so we keep the other 3 that we want.
Yes.
But I think now we take a break.
Yeah,
We'll see
I
you guys
guess
back
Yep.
in 10-15 minutes.
when we
Yeah.
come back from break, we can sort out the spoils from our selling.
Yeah. We've got a good amount. I've got it listed.
That's our hordes person.
Okay.
Excuse
So
me.
it is late. Well, it is evening at this point.
Yep.
You have found that you cannot exactly camp out in your wagon this time.
Unless you want to eat rations and go to sleep cold.
Yeah, this is definitely more of a. This is definitely more of an area where you're expected to park and not rest.
Yep.
Fair. That means we're going to have to try to find an inn.
With
Ugh.
rooms.
There are plenty to choose from where you are parked.
Oh, excellent.
Yep. Mm.
And with a little bit of poking around, you are able to quickly find a place that has rooms available.
How much are they?
Let's see, standard going rate for rooms. Not too egregious. Now I have to go back to that page. You're looking at about how many? Are you looking just to split the men and the women, or are you looking for a room for each of you?
I'm okay sharing with Lantern and Fiona if they are.
Lantern prefers sharing. Just in general.
Fiona's fine with sharing.
Okay.
Boys' room might be
Kobolds
a
are
little
highly
cramped.
communal.
Somebody's
The
going to
boys'
wake
room
up
might
with a
be a
kobold
little
over their
cramped.
face.
You didn't exactly have solo rooms at the monastery. Sharing isn't anything new for Fiona.
Dori had a slightly more privileged upbringing as far as that goes, but
But you're also a traveler type. You obviously came out here with the understanding you would be staying in hostels some of the time, you know?
exactly. She's not overly concerned about it. And she likes you both, so you know.
Bonus.
That is a bonus.
Right,
Yes,
so for
makes
the
life simpler.
larger rooms, which would just ultimately be bedding in a wash basin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you're interested, you are given directions to a local bathhouse, but they're closed at this time of day.
Okay.
That immediately
that
gets
tomorrow.
Vellos' attention.
Yep.
You'll be looking at for shared accommodations, it'd be 8 silver for rooms.
Okay. Dori throws in 3 silver for her portion.
Lantern will match that.
Okay.
Well, then I guess that leaves Fiona picking up the other 2 then for their shared room.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Bruno will throw in 3 himself.
Thorn will throw in 3 for his portion.
Why does Vellos only have gold coins in his inventory?
You're gonna have to break a gold, convert it into silver.
Yep.
Yeah, clearly.
Am I the only one having issues hearing Vellos?
I was
He's a
just
little
getting ready
distant.
to say,
Okay.
I forgot to bring down the mic boom again.
oops.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
That happens.
Right, so
It
Vellos
happens.
will also break a gold and chip in 2 silver.
Okay, and you have rooms for the night. These are
Excellent.
given.
Did I miss us splitting up the proceeds?
No.
No.
Okay.
We haven't really gotten to that yet.
Just making sure.
I think because we just got to town.
Yeah.
Correct. And right now, y'all are getting a proper bed for once.
Indeed.
Proper bed. There is a wash basin. It does have running water, but this is definitely a hands and face wash.
Yeah. This is we go to the bathhouse tomorrow for true baths.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a stop on Vellos' agenda.
I think there's a very real chance that Lantern washes her hands and face and goes over to see how soft the bed is and passes out immediately upon curling up on the pillow.
Well, good luck getting the pillow from her.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Lantern's pillow.
That is.
She is wrapped around it, arms locked.
Yeah,
The
you
only
ain't getting
solution
that
here
out.
is to use Lantern as a pillow.
She will not wake up if you do.
That's a mental
How big
image.
are the beds?
The beds are suited for most medium-sized individuals, which means Vellos and Thorn may be having to bring their legs up, unless they dangle out from over the edge.
They'll probably be dangling.
But as is, Dori should not have a problem, and so Fiona should definitely not have a problem.
Yeah, Fiona
right?
and Lantern aren't going to have a problem. Dori shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's the first
Bruno does
proper
not.
it's the first proper bed Vellos has seen since he left the nest, probably, so
More than likely. And night gradually drifts to day. The mild anxiety of not having to do a watch creeping into everyone.
you
But
just know
nothing
at least
happens.
you just know at least one of us is going to wake up in the middle of the night just instinctively like, shit, where's the watch?
Yep.
Vellos, you
Yep.
sit up immediately, look around, realize you're in a room with a locked door, and fall back to sleep.
You're the one who brought it up.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Bruno just soundly sleeps.
He's done that on watch.
He
Yes,
has.
he has. I'm so embarrassed. That really doesn't happen, though.
Yeah, you can understand Velos's paranoia.
Then
I'm pretty sure that this room gets woken up by Lantern yawning, stretching, and immediately falling out of bed with a loud thump on the floor.
Fiona will look over the edge of the bed and go, "You okay?"
Hammocks do not do that.
No.
You brought the pillow with, so you have to get yourself out from under that first, but yes.
Extricating her horns from the pillowcase, yes.
So I think our first order of business is to go take a bath.
That sounds rough.
And then we can go find the tavern keep, sell the mug.
And figure out what we're going to do.
Should we have someone there at the caravan to talk to the guys who are coming for the beer?
Well, we need to because we need to collect the money.
Yep. The 50 gold pieces.
Then if you would like, I can go wait there in case they're here early.
Okay.
Okay. And then you take your bath after?
Yes, once you guys come back, I can go do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Lantern is going to go back and wait by the wagon for the guys who are coming to pay us and take the booze.
you're there probably for 10, 15 minutes before you see a group of guys coming over, asking if this is the wagon with the dungeon booze.
Yes, are you from the bar to buy it and bring it back?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. And she
He's going to hand over the coin pouches.
She accepts this and shows him to where the booze is. Gives a handful of ergonomic recommendations about where to grab it, and stands out of the way.
Easy enough. These guys are able to lift and carry them.
Lantern will wait for the first of her friends to arrive before she does take off, but she just sort of, loiters.
Yeah.
As for the bathhouse, it's got private rooms which can be rented. Otherwise, there's a bit of an honor box for donations to keep functioning. And it's got warm water.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
That's a luxury.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss this.
You are by far not the only ones there, but
Yep.
that doesn't matter. Only the warm embrace of water.
Yep.
Yeah, Fiona will probably wash quick and let Dori soak, since she seems to enjoy it, and go to relieve Lantern.
Vellos,
Lantern could come get a bath.
Vellos is definitely going to soak for a bit. Probably leave a small donation, maybe like 5 silver. Or is that small?
Honestly, it's your call. It's an honor box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fiona's going to put her last 2 silver pieces in it when she comes in.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
5 silver.
Dory will put in 3.
I'll put my last 4.
How bigger?
Yep.
Donations abound.
Yep.
You don't
Honestly, if there's room, Vellos is probably going to spend most of his soak completely submerged.
There is room.
Oh, yeah.
You don't realize just how sore your body is until you finally get a chance to properly relax.
Yep. My God. Anybody not familiar with dragon physiology may be a bit concerned with just how long he's able to stay under, but otherwise...
I think all of us have seen you swimming, so even if we're not familiar with dragon biology, we know that you're the kind of guy who maybe takes an hour-long bath. Minimum.
You are kind of poked with a stick by one of the attendants to make sure you haven't drowned after a few minutes.
Just raises a thumbs up from the water, like, yeah, I'm fine. Wouldn't be surprised if after a while there's some bets going around for how long he'll stay under.
You don't know. All the sound is muffled.
And Vellos doesn't give a fuck. He can soak in warm water. Finally.
Yeah, no. Fiona will go collect Lantern.
She excitedly presents the bag of gold.
All right. Fiona will go ahead and take that and add it with the rest of their earnings. And then I guess go with Lantern back to the bathhouse so that Lantern can take her bath.
This is about when you learn that Lantern has never been to a bathhouse before.
Oh. Well, you know how bathing in a stream works, right?
I usually use a bucket because it doesn't have leeches in it, but yes.
Yes. All right. Well, this is like bathing in a bucket, only much, much larger, and the water is warm.
And it's lovely.
Oh, hello, Dori.
And there's Vellos, who still hasn't risen.
Vellos is in heaven.
I've already taken my bath, so I won't be getting back into the water. But as you can see, Dori is still here soaking. So, if you've got any questions, you can ask her, since she'll be right here.
Absolutely. I am willing to answer questions.
The problem is that that means that you now, once Lantern chucks 3 silver into the honor system box, because that seems to be what people are doing, and she loves to fit in. The problem is that you gave her a very broad inquiry, which is if you have any questions.
Dori
Oh,
is aware that she has opened Pandora's box and is willing.
How come in poems sometimes every line rhymes with each other, and sometimes it's every other line, and sometimes they don't rhyme at all?
It depends on the nature of the poem.
Oh, they all have different rules.
Yes, there's a number of
Oh,
different
no.
types of poem, and each one has its own rules. And it depends on how do you really want the whole story? I can go on about this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
pretty sure she does want the whole story. Carrie maybe does not want the whole story, but Lantern sure does, and spends a ridiculously long time in a bathhouse grilling you on the finer details of performance poetry.
And Dori is
Actively look this
delighted
up.
to answer.
eventually
Real
Vellos probably
prognosis.
gets up like in the middle of this.
Well, everyone else is bathing and Fiona's done. Fiona might just go take the stein to the tavern to sell it, since that was another early morning thing, and everyone else seems to be preoccupied, unless there's somebody else who's also done with their bath early.
Thorn will accompany Fiona.
All right.
Okay.
You know, the two uncharismatic people.
All of the team's muscle goes off to sell a beer stein.
Yeah.
You know, for
This
some reason
shouldn't be
makes
that hard.
sense.
It really does.
Yeah, this is oddly fitting.
Okay, so as you head out and get to the errant fireball, tavern owner is eager to see your arrival with the stein. Is eager
Yes.
to usher you into a back room, heading down a staircase into what looks like more of a gambler's den and a lounge.
Oh,
Ooh.
Bruno should be there.
You see a few carvings of Varasta. His symbol of dice presented largely on a far wall.
Yeah, Bruno really should be here.
There is another bar. There's a smaller bar where only drinks are served, and you see above it
Excuse me.
4 steins of a similar design like the one you have are arrayed and lined up.
Ooh.
With a 5th slot open for one more.
Well, I could definitely see why you were so eager for this one.
Oh, yes. I've been looking forward to finishing this setup, he says. And as you look at the setup, it's kind of set up in a way that would make for a 5 on a dice roll. On a 6-sided die.
Fancy.
Which off to the side you realize makes sense as he has another display with 2 very ornate crystal decanters. Leading to a 5 and a 2 next to each other. So, how much would you interest? Yes?
Well, I guess we were just about to ask each other the same question there.
How much would you be willing to sell it for?
How much are you willing to spend?
No, I'm willing to spend a good bit on something like this.
I mean, it's clearly valuable to you. You're finishing off a set here, so I can't see why it wouldn't run a little bit of a higher price. But you know, it's your game. It's your set. We're all ears.
Well, I'm thinking about 75 gold for this piece. And once my runner gets back, I'll have to, and confirms your stash is real or not, I'll be sure to add in a little more for that.
Does
Okay.
it seem like a genuine offer? Can I roll
Insights?
insight?
Yes.
I could practically smell one of those coming.
I would like to roll as well,
10.
Ed?
just because they are
Perfectly average.
right. 13, also perfectly average, but she's a little bit better at it.
I love how you
both of
both
can tell
rolled a
right
10.
now, he is serious about he is serious about paying you for any extra alcohol if the stash is legit.
Okay.
But his direct manner of speaking, you can't tell if he's low or highballing you on the price of the cup or the price of the stein.
Fiona will look up at Bruno.
You mean Thorn?
Or yeah, Thorn.
Yeah, Bruno's probably just hanging around the cart right now.
Wrong person to look up at.
Yes.
Well, that too.
She would look up at either one of them, but she's looking up at Thorn. And I guess kind of shrug. It sounds okay to her. I mean, 75 gold for a cup.
Right. Well, Thorn will
Wait,
nod and
because the cup doesn't have any like jewels or anything on it. It's just shaped.
No, it's just shaped embossed metal.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, Thorn will give an approving nod at the shrug and put his hand out for a handshake. 75 sounds good, and in good faith that your runner comes back with the right information.
He gives you a surprisingly firm handshake.
He gives an approving nod at the handshake.
Before gesturing to one of his, before gesturing over to one of the people who isn't running a game at a table, who comes over to hand over the payment while he holds his other hand out for the cup, or for the stein.
Fiona will hand over the stein as the gold is handed over.
He's giddy to take it, and happy to go behind the bar and put it up.
Does not need an insight check to see that this particular guy is, at very least, super excited about his purchase.
Right? We have made more money off this tavern than we will probably ever spend here. So,
But that's fine, because you know he's going to make it all back.
oh yeah, absolutely. With this setup right here, it's no wonder he's got the funds to buy all this junk.
Yeah, not to mention we just gave him a map to a freaking storehouse of
This is someone to
high-quality
remember as a
booze.
future contact.
Right? We have made a connection here. Whether that does us any good, I have no idea.
It's called building relationships.
Congratulations to Thorn and Fiona on networking.
Fiona did not try to haggle. She remembered what happened the last time she tried to haggle.
It worked out wonderfully.
That's a word for it.
All right.
Before we head out, Fiona.
Yeah.
He'll turn over to the proprietor of this wonderful business here. We are Delvers, as you could tell by the product that we gave
Of
right over
course.
to you here. If there's ever any assistance you need, please feel free to call us.
If you're ever in town.
I don't see why we wouldn't come back. We've already started a relationship here.
He smiles a little bit while looking you up and down before asking a singular question to you. Vinyoshin?
He'll smile and nod back at him.
That's what I thought. Grew up there myself.
Really? Where?
Oh, a small town just along the coast. Ended up coming up here following the family business. He says, pointing
Not
up
bad.
at the tavern above you, on the floor above.
Not bad, not bad. I
Sure
come from
how.
Southwinds myself.
Ah, one of the big cities.
Yes, sir. Shipbuilder.
Explain the sturdy build you got.
Runs in the family.
I believe it.
Fiona's just kind of standing there listening to them two chat.
There's a few cards and dice tables. Active games going. The stress of somebody betting too much and losing it all.
Hmm.
You know, Fiona, we should probably bring Bruno back here one of these times.
Oh, absolutely. I think he would enjoy this place.
Oh.
Why do I get the feeling that's a dangerous idea?
Why do you get the feeling Dori's going to be give me everything you're not willing to lose now?
I was more worried about him getting thrown out or beaten to hell for cheating.
This is a Verasta den. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
I feel like he's religious enough not to cheat in the house of his god.
It's Verasta.
I was getting ready
Is
to
it?
say it's Verasta.
You're
This is
right.
the
It
house
is
of
not safe to make an assumption.
One of his domains is trickery. Cheating kind of falls in that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why would you try to cheat in the house of the guy who knows all about cheating? He's gonna catch you.
That's if he's there.
And if he's not charmed by one of his followers trying to follow in his footsteps.
Oh god.
Would we be able to bring one of our party down here?
Maybe. It's a little bit of a
It's a
private
cleric
area.
of Verasta.
Oh, definitely.
Excellent. We will let him know that this place exists. I'm sure
we
he
have
will be
two of
excited.
those. We actually have two of those.
You're not here.
You're at the bathhouse explaining about pants.
Oh yeah, that's Bruno would have probably stayed at the bathhouse and is having fun listening to this and chuckling at Dori over Lantern.
So, at what point does the squirrels at the Emerald Candles dress attire get brought up?
Dori's trying to forget about the squirrel's dress.
Just because he's a little bit more extreme than most other Celerines.
Well, you know, she's just not going to say anything. It's his choice, you know.
He's an adult. He can dress how he wants, even if
Yep,
he's
yep.
doing it wrong. So
Exactly.
wrong. All wrong.
Exactly.
Oh. His choice to dress as an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
You're so mean when you realize most Alaman Celerines might not dress as hard as he does, but that's standard fare.
Well, but there's dressing for fashion and trend and to illustrate one's individuality.
And then there's being a big gaudy peacock.
Well, and then there's dressing like trash.
So mean.
And, Dori grew up in fashion. So she's got opinions. Even if she didn't go into it.
Oh, so mean.
I know. Terrible, terrible.
I do think as she is getting out of the bath and she is sort of comparing the rags she is putting on to what everyone else in the establishment seems to be wearing, i.e. clothes, Lantern does sort of realize at that point that she is in fact dressed in random rags that were definitely stolen off a clothesline at some point. Most of them are somewhat charred or otherwise damaged from our adventures. And she's frowning in deep thought, looking at the hem of her clothes when you get out, before she says, Dori, I have a question that is perhaps strange.
Okay.
How do you buy clothes?
Oh. You want me to help you get new clothing?
She looks
good Lord.
hopefully up at you and
Oh,
says, yes?
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
And now Lantern is the one who
Dory
opened up a
is
can
the
of
one
worms.
to ask. It's just Lantern.
Okay. We're going to have fun.
Oh boy.
Lantern,
I
you
probably
look
don't
very
have
excited
Rasta,
about
but
this.
he would probably find this hilarious.
I don't think Abed would touch this with a 10-foot pole.
I don't know any god that would touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Rasta
Why bring
might.
gods into it? Why bring gods
Rasta
into
would
it?
join her. He'd find it hilarious. He wouldn't do anything to
He
stop
would
it.
be right there outside of the fucking dressing room enjoying the fashion show.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay, first we want to grab Thorn and make sure he doesn't need any new clothes because his are always getting trashed.
That makes sense because he goes right up where the guys are fighting.
Yes, so his clothes are always getting destroyed. So we need to check first to make sure he doesn't need new clothing. Do we know where they went?
I think Fiona said something about how she was just going to go sell the Stein, so I think they went to the place where we were going to do
Got it.
that.
Okay, let's go that direction and see if we can find them. And Dori sets out at a good brisk pace to go to.
Lantern follows at a slightly slower pace due to her much shorter legs.
When she
Well-
realizes she's losing her, Dori will slow down.
Well, when you run into him, let him know that I'm stopping by the... What the hell is the temple of... The temple of...
Place where our
Yttrius?
mail is, probably.
Yeah, was the god's name
Yttrius?
Yttrius?
Okay,
I
I
knew
will
it
do
reminded-
so.
Yeah, I gotta send a letter to my folks.
Oh, I should do the same.
I was under the impression you guys already sent those out.
Yeah, we did already make a brief...
Yeah.
Like, we didn't actually go anywhere in, game, I believe, but we did mention that we were quickly dropping stuff off there.
That's
Yeah, I was
right.
under
Yeah.
the impression you sent those out before leaving.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, but there might be responses.
Forgot we did that.
Which that was what, 10 days to get to Mansk, including time at the dungeon?
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Because somebody here misjudged the amount of distance traveled.
Yeah, I don't think Vellos sent his letter with the first batch.
I was under the impression that you did.
Yeah. Okay, well, that works then. I guess in that case he's gonna see if there's a response yet.
Bruno is going to go see about looking to get that ring that he needs from the gambling area / Temple of Rasa place that he was told about the previous day.
You weren't given a location. You were just told that you might check out that.
As he goes to find it and go, crap, I forgot to ask about locations. He turns and goes back to the store to ask for directions because he knows that they'll know exactly what he's talking about. Oh, wait. Sorry, no, he's not going to do that because he's going to wait for the divvying up of loot so that he can
Money.
actually
Yep.
afford
Smart.
the ring. Because
Yep.
he's nearing broke right now.
Typical
Yeah,
servant
once-
Rasta.
Once Vellos has checked for a response letter, he's heading straight back to the cart for the same reason.
So yeah, he's gonna head to the cart and wait for loot divvying.
Yay.
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 So I'm guessing Dori and Lantern find Thorn and Fiona at the tavern.
Probably on the way of probably leaving the tavern.
Yay, I did remember right.
Excellent. Hey guys,
Oh, hey,
Thorn.
guess
Oh,
what?
hey.
what?
We got 75 gold for that cup.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thorn,
Yes.
Lantern has decided she needs some shopping to do.
Oh, okay.
And you tend to be very hard on your clothing because you're our first line of defense. So I came here to see if you needed new clothes while we go and get Lantern some.
Thorn will look at the clothes he's wearing now. Are they destroyed?
You've been
He has had armor now.
Yes, you have been armored. You have when you rage, your muscles tend to bulge out a fair bit. You've also been stabbed, slashed, and bitten. At one point, you had sharp, pokey things launched at you. Your clothes.
Well, I mean, if it looks like it's still mostly one piece, he'll say he's good.
Your clothes are starting to enter the territory of wear at home, probably not out on the streets. A mending spell could probably save them. Could still save them.
If anybody
he'll-
had a mending
he'll-
spell.
He'll look at his clothes and then look at Dori and then look at his clothes. Well, I'd say I'm okay, but I feel like some others would have opinions.
Well, you know me. I always have opinion. Come on, we'll get you one outfit. One more outfit.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
You coming with Fiona?
I might as well. I'm also up there up front a lot. And unlike him, I don't have any armor to stop some of the damage.
Okay. So Dori will lead her victims to the clothing store. And she will try to ascertain from Lantern what kind of clothes she wants other than not rags.
She gives you what I would describe as a breathless and mildly incoherent sort of expose on everything she knows about clothes. And you would be able to interpret it to mean she is kind of looking for how would I put this? She would kind of like a nice natural colored, easy to blend in with the background style cape or cloak, and very colorful everything else. Comfortable and easy to move in seems to be the priority.
Excellent. A woman after her own heart. Probably greens, or would you prefer reds?
Well,
And
I am
this
red.
This question will entertain Dori for the remainder of the walk to the nearest clothing store.
I will say, complexion-wise, she's definitely a summer. Pretty sure that's where we put fire truck red and glowing orange and bright yellow.
Yes. Maybe greens and blues. And kind of balance out your skin tone and all.
Well, green would probably, I mean, I know that you make green with blue and yellow, and I've got the yellow. So green already has some of that in there. So maybe? Says Lantern, who has no idea about clothes or color theory, but is very excited to participate nonetheless.
Fiona
Okay.
is staying quiet, but personally pretty happy that she is not at the receiving end of this.
She's happy to not be getting this attention.
Yes.
Yes, Dori and Lantern are taking up all of the fun.
Fun! Sure. Okay, you can call it that.
Thorn's there
Yes.
for a shirt and some pants.
Same for
He is
Fiona.
calmly waiting his turn.
Okay, we get to the clothing store. And then Dori stops and thinks there's actually another important question for you, Lantern.
Yes.
Pants or skirts?
It is really hard to fit my tail through pants.
Skirts. All right.
Even though most pants do have tail holes included in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're designed for like maybe for a like squirrel it might work, but most of them in her size would be for people with like little mouse tails, and she has like a big fat lizard tail, so
That's fair.
it's just not quite the same dimension.
It needs a little tailoring. That pun was not intended. I am apologizing. It just came to me the moment you all started laughing.
I will say, whether tailoring is named after tails was probably one of the questions that Dori had to answer in the bathhouse just recently.
That she would have answered with, I don't know, maybe.
The answer in the beast world is yes.
Okay, we get to the clothing store and start clothing everybody, understanding that neither Thorn nor Fiona actually cares what we put them in, just as long as
It's
they're
comfy,
decent. Yeah.
and Fiona can sneak in it if she has to.
Yep.
The tailor
Lantern
the tailor does offer at a cheap rate clothes mending.
Oh, excellent. That'll work for this pair. Fiona will gesture to the one she's already wearing.
Do you happen to have a spare set you can put on?
That's back at the wagon.
This would
But
probably
I was
be
coming
where the
to
show-
buy another set anyway, so
Okay.
like buy one and then change into that.
yes.
Well, Fiona and Thorn are taking care of their clothing, which Dori figures they can both probably do without too much supervision. She's going around and looking at what she can get Lantern into.
She is very interested in colorful sweaters, anything with like buttons or toggles or anything that, you know. Imagine you're dressing a third grader with ADHD and you've got sort of the fashion sense.
Without supervising, there is a sizable selection of more typical Beast World attire, but they do have a small selection of Broken World clothing ranging from anywhere from reasonably priced to a gold for a shirt, based off the complexity of design patterns on them. Not like you could actually read any of the wording on them, but it's there.
Right.
Are there any that have the lettering like the shirt Thorn already has?
There's a couple.
Thorn will
One
grab
nota-
one of those.
One you see most notably is one with a hood and some kind of metal teething going down the middle. Which, if you ask about that, it's you were shown how to operate this mechanism that makes a zipping noise as it goes up and down.
That's so cool.
And you can wear that one.
around your without your antlers being a problem.
I want that one.
It is one of the more expensive shirts.
That is perfectly fine. If it fits, he wants that one.
Yeah, I'd say it fits. The
Dori
sleeves may be a
gives him-
little short, but it fits.
Dori gives him a beamingly large smile.
Thorn is going to make this purchase.
This one's got
Excellent.
a picture. This one on the back has a picture of a skull blasting lightning out of its eyes.
That is so cool. I love every bit of this.
Oh. From the metal
Do
band
any of
hoodie.
the Broken World clothes look like they have pictures of things fighting each other on them?
There's a few. There's one particular shirt you're looking at. You find yourself looking at it, then looking back at Vellos, then looking at this.
Well,
Because
Vellos isn't with us, is he?
Is he?
No, Vellos
No.
isn't with
No, I thought
us.
Vellos. You find yourself thinking about Vellos kind of while looking at this. In a way, like if Vellos was red and a quadruped and blasted fire. But that would be silly. Dragons are not giant quadrupeds.
Not
Hmm.
in this world.
Humans had such a weird idea of what dragons would have looked like.
Yep.
Right?
Very strange.
At least I got the element right. That's a plus.
Yep. Yep.
Huh.
Okay, Dori
How
picks
big are the shirts in the Broken World section?
This shirt would probably would probably go down to your knees, the one you're looking at. As it seems to be built more in mind with adult-sized humans.
You could wear that, put a belt around your waist, and a pair of leggings or hose. That would look really cool. I wouldn't wear it to a battle, but it'd look good.
I was thinking more in-town sleeping attire. Where I didn't have to worry about moving fast.
Well, I mean, that would work too. But even, as I said, I wouldn't wear it to a battle.
No.
But, if you wanted to dress up, go dancing or something, or just, out on the town where fighting isn't the first thing, but you'd still be able to move in it. That's a long tunic.
Fiona looks at where it would go down to her knees and go, more of a dress.
Well, yeah, a bit, but that's why you wear the leggings under it. So it's okay if the shirt has to go up a little for you to move right. And if you wear the belt right, you can blouse the top over the belt. So you can shorten it up a bit if you need to.
Fiona sticks one of her arms in the sleeve. And it's like just this big gap. Where it would be very baggy on her. Yeah, no, probably sleeping attire. If I wore this. It's cool though.
It is cool. It's very cool.
So while you guys are shopping around in ogling clothing, you hear an odd ruckus going on outside.
Oh dear.
Fiona will look.
You look outside to see kind of people standing out from the middle of the road, pressing, not really pressing themselves back against the walls, but like getting out of the way. As you notice a whole bunch of wine glasses and bottles just bouncing their way down the street, while a good 30 feet back is a coyote running after the glasses, screaming, "Why did you all become animated? Get back here!"
What the fuck?
It's Magic Town.
I guess.
Huh.
This is followed by a few moments later, in the opposite direction the coyote had gone, the town's mage guard running. So basically, they're coming in from the direction the coyote came from. If that makes sense.
I don't think I want to get in the middle of this one.
No. No, that is not an us problem.
No, that's a somebody else's problem.
Back to clothes.
Back to
For once,
clothes.
I'm happy to be in a clothes shop.
Getting clothing.
Fiona kind of drops as she realizes she just said that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
I'm assuming we can find the clothes that Lantern needs, right?
Yes.
Dori's looking for good, solid workmanship. Not delicate materials, but good, sturdy stuff in the brightest colors she can find, with a nice, kind of a beige neutral cloak to go over it.
Easy enough to find. Traveler's clothes. You're able to find traveler's clothes of solid design or solid material. They're not the brightest you can find, but the alternative is fine city wear out in the middle of traveling.
Yeah.
Perhaps more of a muted jewel tones then, but we
Yeah.
presumably have some reds and greens and blues to work with here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if any of them have something such as a shiny brass button, that will make them infinitely more appealing.
Well, if none of them have shiny breast buttons or anything similar, we can pick those up and add them to the clothing.
There is nothing you cannot add with thread.
Exactly.
Well,
we
she is
get-
going to go ahead and get herself 3 traveler's clothes. How much is that running for?
Traveler's clothes are running for an amount of money.
Excellent. I might have that. Or not, depending on the amount.
Head back all the way over there again.
This seems like a place that he should have bookmarked just permanently.
It should be. It really should be. It's more just in case I keep closing the book and setting it down.
Clothing the book. You've made the book a nice little set of clothing.
Traveler's clothes run at 2 gold a set.
You know what? We're gonna go ahead and splurge and buy yourself 3 outfits.
Okay.
Fiona buys 1, and how much does the mending cost?
The mending will run you, after examining the condition of your clothing, the mending will run you about 5 silver.
Okay.
Which is going to be about 5 minutes of mending.
Yep, that works. This way now she has 3 sets of clothes.
As you quickly realize that this is the spellcast mending and not him hemming up damage.
Hey, that makes it cheaper. I think. At least faster.
Definitely faster.
Yep.
All right. Should we head back to the wagon if we're all done here?
Yes.
Yep. I think we're done here. Lantern, you look lovely.
She beams with delight at the compliment.
Okay, let's head back to the wagon.
So as you're heading out, you realize you're having to go in the same direction that the guards went running down, and the coyote had ran from.
Yep.
And you do eventually find yourself at something of a roadblock, as well as a few guards collecting suddenly animated glassware and putting them gently into barrels to keep them from bouncing away.
Oh dear.
On top of that, you see what appears to be the guard captain arguing with someone wearing the tabard of the Elements military.
Oh dear.
Those Elementsians,
Yep.
you would recognize not just the military, but as those who considered and got into delving, you'd be quick to recognize Dungeon Brigade iconography as well. As a scout.
Ah.
Okay. Dori's going to. She's not going to interrupt the conversation, but she's going to kind of walk up to as close as she's allowed to and just kind of listen into the conversation.
They're not being quiet, so it doesn't take you too much to get up to. But the guard captain is mad. It's like, why are you insisting on waiting for the brigade to get here when they're at least when any of your crews are at least a week out? When we have at least a couple dozen delvers here in the city.
Excuse me. Speaking of delvers,
Both whip their heads around in unison at a speed where you can almost imagine the whiplash noise.
Ow.
Fiona kind of face foams as Dori draws attention to them.
The guard captain gestures over to you, he's like, "This is what I'm talking about."
I mean, I have no idea what's been going on. We've just been enjoying the services of your fine city here. We just replaced some necessary clothing and all, but did I hear that you might need services of some such as us?
The scoutmaster lets out a long, droning sigh. Okay. So a dungeon just opened up probably if we had to give it a guess, probably an hour ago, and its effects are starting to ripple through the city block.
Oh dear.
Oh.
In the city. Oh dear.
Yes.
And it's animating glassware?
Not all of it, but some of it.
Ay, ay, ay. Well,
I just sent my crews out to deal with an issue out of town.
well, I mean, we can get the rest of our crew. There's 6 of us, so but we'd be interested, wouldn't we? And she looks over at the rest of you.
Yes, we do dungeons. Dungeons is what we do.
Yes, we do.
I'm always interested in punching things.
You see, we have delving crews, at least a dozen of them, in the city. We can't wait for anything else weird to happen. The Dungeon Brigade scout just seems the definition of frustrated.
It seems like maybe his job is not going so well for him.
If it helps, we were actually we didn't take him up on it, but we were actually told that we could apply to the Dungeon Brigade if we wished by one of your people in Gosser.
That would require a bit of paperwork, but
We're not actually interested in joining the brigade, but we're not.
Oh dear.
We've been
Consider
we're not completely unknown to the brigade. That's, I guess, the point I'm trying to make. And at least one of your people thinks that we're worthy of it.
well, I mean, anybody who can survive and work as a team is more than welcome. It's a little bit of paperwork, though, just some identification mostly.
Well, again, we're not actually looking to join the brigade. We're just looking to help out. I mean, we could work as consultants. I think that's the word, right?
contractors.
Yeah. Them.
Was a little painful.
Fine.
To
Fine, he says, largely because it looks like the guard captain is trying to drill a hole straight through the man with his eyes.
The guard captain is telepathically saying, if you don't take them up on it, I will eat you.
As an old grizzled wolf to a frustrated looking rabbit, that's quite the possible threat.
Okay, let's get our other two members.
Just
And where do we meet you to get our...
let me finish with my guys getting what info they can of the place.
Okay.
An idea of what kind of threats we have. And then we'll meet up in this street corner.
This street corner?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be back shortly.
Good.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Yay, work.
Yeah. Let's get Bruno and Vellos.
All right. I
Vellos
guess
said-
we'll split
Vellos
our
said where he
money
was
after
going.
this, then. Fiona will say.
Yeah, because we've got yet another job.
Might as well split it all up once we've gotten a bunch more of it, hopefully.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay, so Dori is walking briskly, trying to make sure that she's not walking so quickly she loses Lantern and Fiona.
You won't lose Lantern. Lantern is skipping much faster.
Fiona has a faster move speed than you.
Okay.
You're not gonna lose Fiona.
You would have to be trying pretty hard to lose Fiona, it sounds.
Yep. Presumably the same is true of Thorn.
Are you 35 feet?
I'm 35, yeah.
Fiona's 40.
Ah, okay.
I think Lantern's just 25 or 30, but she is, again, skipping.
Yeah. She's just looking at the length of legs.
Yeah.
Rather than the actual speed.
Oh, never mind. I am probably as fast as Dori, because I've got 30 feet of movement.
Well, I've got 35, so.
Oh, well, then I am skipping. All right,
Okay.
as established.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after a little bit, we get back to the wagon. Hey, boys!
Huh?
Bruno, Vellos, we've got a job.
Did Vellos find any mail at the temple?
Not at the moment.
Oh, yep, and he'd be there with Bruno at the cart.
I have. Well, I'm not going to keep track of the calendar. I've measured out how many days it would need for things to get to where they need to belong.
It's the second.
Yes.
No, excuse me, it's the third.
I will be using you as a calendar.
Which means that Dori would have had to do the her
Yeah. Go ahead and
Her
roll
thingy.
for those.
okay.
I believe it would be in a decently populated. It's a fairly well populated area, but
Uh-huh.
it is. All right, you discounted necromancer. Roll me 5.
Ooh, 5d6.
Yeah.
Nice.
Welcome to being in a town.
Okay, so I've got 2. What are they? 2 stewards, 2 scoundrels, and a scholar.
And you can pick 2 of them.
Actually, I can. Well, yeah, that's right. I can pick. So,
Yeah, because based off your proficiency.
so I figure I'll pick the 2 stewards.
What do the stewards do again?
They're
Once
the
this-
ones. The steward gives a +1 to attack rolls. And,
Okay.
and also gives you the floating shield of Blackstone as an animated shield.
Ah,
Huh.
And
the stewards are the shield guys.
Yes.
Got it.
yeah, the stewards are the shield guys. And as a bonus action, they can you can command the steward to transform into a wall of stone, if necessary. So, okay. Anyway, so she'll tell the guys that it's
Yeah,
We got
Dori
a
just
job.
kind of volunteered us for a job for a dungeon that literally opened in town.
about an hour ago.
Hey.
There were wine glasses running around. I've never seen them do that before.
You're kind of just bouncing on their stem. Boing, 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 at a fairly decent clip.
They were walking around.
Well-
That's all I know.
Okay.
Bouncing glassware? What the?
Yeah, I don't think they're
Glassware?
supposed to do that.
Right? This is a
They're
very
not.
interesting sounding dungeon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a weird
Yeah.
one, that's for sure. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Have we found
I
any
don't have
normal
no
ones?
logos yet. Damn it.
Weirder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that dwarf one could have been more normal-ish, except it got invaded by,
Except for how it was weird. Yeah.
yeah.
Spider chickens, yeah.
Well, y'all have heard.
That one was almost normal.
Y'all have heard stories of whenever dungeons open up in populated areas, things get weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. We got to meet him.
Yep.
All right.
Alright.
Yep. Fiona will happily lead the way back because she's already learning the town. It's very hard for her to get lost.
Lantern is happy to skip along behind, showing off her new delightful kicky skirt. Who doesn't love a kicky skirt?
Absolutely. They're wonderful. Dori will at some point go over to Bruno and say, compliment Lantern on her new clothes.
Is Bruno getting
sorry.
threatened?
I didn't even hear the last word.
Compliment Lantern on her new clothes.
Bruno is absolutely being threatened.
Yes, he is. As a response, when we're not about to go into a dungeon. I'm going to focus on the job that you signed us all up for without
We're
confirming with the
walking.
rest of the
You
group.
can give her a compliment while we walk. Good Lord, I'm not talking about a 20-minute ritual.
Compliments are hard!
Just tell her that Barasta must be pleased with how well his druid looks. That's all you have to do. Honestly. Men.
Yes, many of us aren't good with fashion and don't much care about it either.
You don't have to get specific. She looks nice. Doesn't she look nice?
He does.
So tell her.
Not just gonna say it out of nowhere.
Lantern,
Why not?
Vellos is having a wonderful walk.
Let's go, guys!
Oh, Dori's absolutely walking while she argues with Bruno.
Bruno's also walking. It's not like they're just standing there.
No, they're absolutely walking and talking.
All
right.
Walking and arguing. Huh?
Nothing.
Alright, so I guess it doesn't take them too long to get back to where the rabbit was.
No. The guards are still there. There's still glass running amok, along with a few ceramic pots.
Oh, goody, now ceramic is bouncing. Huh.
Let's
That
just
is
hope none
so
of them are
weird.
chamber pots.
No, it seems to mostly be decorative stuff. Nothing that,
Alright,
nothing
that's
that at
good.
the moment serves a practical purpose. Though you get the feeling given by the annoyance of one of the guards, he's collected the same thing like 3 times.
Ooh, it's a vase or possibly a vase.
I have no idea what the difference between
It's
them
about
is.
to be broken, it doesn't stop.
I don't know, have you tried telling the vase that? Maybe it'll listen.
Are you a vase or a vase? She asks the glassware, inspired by this advice.
It doesn't respond at all.
I don't think it speaks common.
I don't know if it even speaks.
Well, maybe, but I don't think we have enough time to sit here trying every language everyone knows.
Dori looks around for the guard captain.
The guard captain does not appear to be in the immediate area.
Is the scout here?
The scout isn't back yet.
Okay, we have
Okay.
to wait for them.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure while we're waiting, Lantern does sort of, at some point at least, kind of help one of the guards corral one of the glassware into place. You know, if only by giving it something that it can't bounce past immediately while he scrambles to retrieve it.
It is a much appreciated action.
Oh, hey, Lantern.
Yes, hello, Fiona.
While we're waiting here, have you pulled your card for the day?
Ooh. She has not, and she will. I was smart enough to get onto the page already, so let me
Woohoo.
type out the macro.
Fiona just remembers Lantern always pulling a card before they go into a dungeon situation.
Sometimes they're useful, and sometimes they voluntarily subject the carriage driver that somebody else has hired to a conversation about the reproductive habits of spider chickens. Okay, that is
Tell you, Charles was not paid for that.
2. Intoxicating touch.
Ooh. That sounds like an interesting one.
You see Lantern peering with great interest at the card as Carrie scrolls through the guidebook looking for it. Oh, neat. When when I use the card as an action, the drunken haze of a hummingbird eating rotten fruit overtakes foes you attack for 10 minutes. When you hit a creature with a natural weapon, including while in beast form, the target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and attacks against it have advantage for the duration.
Huh.
Nice.
I don't really have natural weapons. I guess I could bite a guy, but Lantern does not have like a bite attack, so presumably her teeth are not
wild shape.
sharp enough for that to be a big issue. But she
Wild
also
shape.
has it wild shaped today, so
Yeah.
That would work.
Are you able to transform into something that can bite things?
I think I can be a wolf
Ooh.
because I've seen a wolf.
It'll work. Oh, as we're waiting, Bruno does activate Vigilant Blessing.
Yep. You get that advantage on your first initiative check.
Well, just on my initiative check, if I'll activate it again after battle.
How long does that stay active for?
Until I recast it, and I can cast it as many times as I want.
Interesting.
Now, mind you, it can only affect one person, and when I recast it, whoever it was previously cast on no longer has the effect. So it can only affect one person at a time, but has the benefit of all I have to do is remember to activate it all the time.
Yes.
I constantly forget to say that in the morning.
I'm pretty sure I can be a wolf or a boar.
Ooh.
Both have nice natural weapons.
Yes. Probably would go for wolf. There are other things that I could hypothetically turn into if I had seen them, but I have not seen them, so I am confident I have never seen a panther.
It's safe to assume if it's in the back of the player's handbook, you've either seen it or known enough about it.
Okay, so I would potentially know enough about panthers, even though they're not from around here? Neat.
That's
Okay.
typically a safe thing to roll with.
Okay.
It also gives druids a variety of forms to shift without being like, I turn into a wolf for the next 3 weeks. So, things to keep in mind. Things to keep in mind. And speaking of things to keep in mind, after a little bit of waiting, the somewhat agitated looking rabbit shows back up in his tabard. Okay, here's what we got.
Okay.
After a little poking around with some magic and not wanting to risk going past the locked doors, we can safely say you should expect traps, and I'm not sure if you would call them alive, but definitely expect threats to fight. Constructs would be the best. Constructs.
Oh, constructs.
Yes.
Okay.
So traps and contracts.
Huh.
Okay.
The place does appear to be already illuminated, so
That'll make things a little easier.
Yeah. That's one less thing we have to worry about.
So let's go, he says, gesturing for you to follow while grumbling in frustration.
Okay.
Yep.
But effectively having to drag mercenaries into this instead of leaving it to the elements military. He leads you to a glassmith's workshop.
That explains the
That would explain some
glassware.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he leads you inside where you see the coyote you saw earlier chasing after bouncing wine glasses, corralling a nice crystal glass vase into a lockable cabinet. With all the wine glasses he'd previously been chasing down.
Jeez.
He seems frustrated, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
I don't either.
As you are led into the back, where the glass kilns are kept.
Talk about your business running away from you.
What is it with kilns?
And
I
it
was
has
just
absolutely
thinking that.
no.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with the kilns, as you were instead led past those and to a door.
Oh,
Okay, good. If I was gonna start to get suspicious of kilns as an institution.
Yeah.
Okay. You said the door is locked?
Well, this one isn't, he says, gesturing to the door that, when you look at it, you realize it's made of glass. Like, even the
Oh.
handle mechanism inside is made of glass.
Oh, wow.
Well,
You all made this, or the glassmaker
Dungeon.
here made this?
It's the dungeon.
The dungeon made it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we know the theme of this dungeon.
Yep.
It's quite nice when
Heck yeah.
dungeons are consistent, but sometimes they're not.
Ooh.
Let's hope that the
Let's hope
glass in
this
the
is a
dungeon is
consistent one.
breakable.
Well, this door
Okay.
isn't locked, but further in,
They are.
yes.
Understood.
Nope.
Dori,
I made thieves' tools for us.
yep.
As you
Right.
look around, there are some windows in the actual room itself before you go into this door that leads to a ramp going down.
Very curious if anything can be seen through those windows.
You can. As you look at one of the windows, you realize that by all physical means, the door that's leading into the dungeon should lead into a back alley.
Oh, it's like how the
Alright.
wagons work. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so as you entering into the dungeon, heading down
Yes.
the stairs,
Yep.
well, heading down the ramp actually. The place is illuminated from ceiling lights that give a little bit of a greenish tint to everything. As you realize it's probably because it's a white light shining through a greenish glass. And you come across your first door. This door appears to be made from wood with bandings over it.
I don't know if I trust that door.
Dori's going to try checking for traps.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
What do I roll?
Investigation.
Investigation. Okay. That's okay. I've never done it before.
Yeah, it was mostly the rogue in the previous game that did that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But we don't have a rogue in this game, so
No.
Mildly alarm.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Door.
I don't think Dori knows if it has traps or not.
Dori
That-
definitely doesn't.
You look at the door, you rub your chin. That is a door.
Yep.
You're pretty sure
Okay.
it's a door.
Dori tries the doorknob to see if it opens.
It doesn't shift.
Okay.
Also, the
She
doorknob,
pulls-
as you grasp it, you realize feels like fired ceramic.
Okay, that's not exactly a surprise.
Lantern would like
Okay.
to tap on the door with her fingernails to see if it makes a wood sound or a clay sound.
It makes a clay sound. However, the banding makes a metal sound.
That's
Okay.
cool. This is fake wood.
Dori's going to try opening the lock with her thieves' tools.
Okay.
She does a little better with the 7.
This is a completely foreign concept to you. You've gone through some locks before. But this just feels completely different because it's a completely different material than locks are usually made from.
Dori looks at the rest of them and says, we've got 2 options. Somebody else can try opening this lock, or I can use knock.
I think knock might be easier. Cause it would knock work if we break it.
If you break it, knock would not work.
I am happy to try anything, but I've never used a lockpick before, so I am probably the wrong person to ask.
Okay.
I mean,
Dori?
I can try, but if you want me to,
I mean, I'm just saying, those are our 2 options. I can certainly cast knock.
I don't actually know what knock does, but it sounds good.
it's
Okay.
an unlocking spell.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that could be useful.
It's unlock it, but it's also very noisy.
Not a
Yeah.
spell you use when you're being stealthy.
Right. But
Oh,
we're not
we
being
don't-
stealthy yet. So
Not right now.
No, right now that's not
I'll
an
be right
issue.
back.
Okay.
Okay.
But it is
Dori
important for her
casts-
to know.
Yes. Dori casts knock.
Okay. With a loud knocking sound, the lock unlatches.
Yay. Okay.
And I guess
Okay.
now we open the door.
Now we open the door.
Okay.
Dori will open the door.
As you open the door, you guys are. Hang on a second. Not quite on camera. Well, you are. You're just
Hmm.
over here.
Hidden by our profile pics.
Yes. Is this crooked or is the camera crooked? The camera's a little crooked. Hard for the seasickness. There we go. Okay, as promised from previous week, we are now on a hex grid.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Also now on a bigger mat to use.
Ooh.
Cool.
All right, so marching order on entering this first room.
Lantern's right behind Dori, wherever she is.
Now, Dori's
They were
usually
chatting.
towards the back, but she opened the
Bruno
door,
go
so
in the
I
back
don't
as
know
well.
how that's going to go.
Okay, so boom, boom.
Fiona usually enters first, or close to the first.
Yeah.
I
So she'd be in
gotta
the
jump,
front.
guys. I will see you next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good
Huh.
week.
Well, Vellos would be near the front with Thorn and Fiona.
It's gonna be a little crowd coming in. You're not gonna get quite the order you want, but here we go. Okay, so as you enter this first room, the interior of the room is not unlike the entrance to the shop you just came in above you. You have a counter at the front with several shelves and display stands showing off a variety of glassware and pottery alike. The shelves and stands appear to be made of glass or cut crystal themselves. You're having trouble determining because it's pointed right at you, but there is a humanoid glass statue standing behind the counter, along with a few customers standing around and looking at the items. All of these items, of course, they are not actually moving, they are completely inert, but they're posed in a way as if they're reaching out to grab and look at something.
Oh, that's
Well,
weird.
That's creepy.
Those might be the constructs.
You
That would make
cannot
sense.
tell.
Or could they be real people who've been transformed?
Oh God, I hope not.
I kind of doubt it. This whole area was created by the dungeon.
Yeah, they didn't say there
Well-
were a bunch of missing people.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
So you have to kind of go through the glass shop. I don't think regular customers would have come down here.
That's you're right. You're right. Okay. I can stop worrying about that.
So in the design of the shop, you can also see under the counter is a glass strongbox with coins in it. And
Are the coins also glass?
no, the coins are actually made out of coin.
Ooh.
The box is made of glass. The coins not so much.
Well,
we
no,
You
can
know,
work
that's
that
just
one out.
silly.
everything being made out of glass is making it very easy to see where things are.
This is true. This is absolutely true.
I'll fuck with these later. I was going to use some props, but they're stuck in frustrating packaging.
Oh, no.
So I would just bust out the old stone pillars. Okay, so we have the counter here.
Mhm.
We have a shelf here. Shelving here. And goodbye keyboard. And here.
And there's just glasswares on the shelving.
Yes. Along with that, you have the counter attendant. I'm sorry, microphone. I did not mean to get that close to it.
You know, I think of all of the ways you could drum up business for your glass store, I think the least effective might be making glass customers.
Yeah.
And customer. Okay. So there's two ways you can get to this door over here. You can either move through this area along here, or you can try and hop the counter. Or you can browse the goods.
Lantern would be very interested in browsing the goods, because glassware is shiny.
Shiny, shiny kobold stuff.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yep.
You know it? You love it?
Vellos does not trust the sculptures.
Neither does Fiona. And she's thinking-
Dori.
She's thinking that while it would be fun to break glass, punching glass would probably hurt.
Lantern mostly just thinks that this is a terrible strategy for drumming up business, and the dungeon people should have done a better job.
Well, it looks like either which way we've got to go through the glass shopkeeper. Because, I mean, if we hop the counter, first off, we have to hop the counter. And secondly, that guy is going to be there to stop us. There's not that much room.
We don't actually know what the conditions is for anything getting up and moving, or if that's actually what they do at all. They could do something else.
Like what?
I don't know, shoot lasers out of their heads?
What's a laser?
I was about to say that.
Sorry, she would say magic beams.
Okay.
Well,
I
Well,
say
one-
we try to walk through the glass shopkeeper.
Let's try it.
yeah, want me to take a lead? If it suddenly gets up and tries to hit me, I'm not the easiest to hit.
Okay, so you want to hop the counter?
Yeah, I guess
Sure.
Vellos is gonna hop the counter.
So how are you going to do this? How are ye, big dragon man, going to hop the counter? As I pick Fiona back up.
Yeah.
Ju- Just
And we'll say
Try
you
to
don't
vault
have
it,
enough
basically.
space. So you want to vault it? So
Pretty
kind of
much.
put your hands on the counter and try to fling yourself over?
Pretty much.
Go ahead and do me an athletics check.
Okay, I think I'm okay-ish at that. I'm actually proficient in that. Yay. $15.
Not bad.
Okay, so as you push your hands on the counter to vault, you are, instead of vaulting, you are able to quickly grab the wall and catch yourself. As when you go to lift your legs up, all your weight goes on the glass.
Ah,
And
It's a slippery dungeon.
No, it's not slippery. It goes crashing through, and you're able to catch yourself without too much hassle.
okay, that is not as sturdy as I was expecting.
Would you like me to try that instead because I am much smaller?
Now have, however, a fairly good pathway through.
Oh, well, I don't think that's necessary anymore. He's just going to step through the carnage he wrecked.
Where's the cash box?
It'll be right next to him.
Yeah, I'd say we wait until we're done before we go after the cash box.
Despite having more space on a grid, his wings still get in the way of everything.
I'm sorry.
You're not allowed to play a winged character next time. Or I need to fold those wings up.
Yeah, I don't get why you didn't have them folded to begin with. It looks cool, but
Because it looked
It
cool.
looks cool.
you didn't think about practicality.
No, because it looked cool.
Okay. Well, no reaction from the statues, so guess I'll
That's what I'm
try
saying.
and
Maybe they do something else.
Maybe they
Guess
don't do
I'll
anything. Maybe they are
try
just
and open the far door.
Okay, so as you go to check, you just going to want to open the door up.
Check see if it's locked or anything first.
I mean, an investigation check.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Which is not the best. Okay, then that works. That's like the second 20 of mine tonight.
Vellos, as you reach for the handle, you stop, realize something, look along the door frame, and you notice there is a nozzle pointed around chest height for you, directly at you.
Okay, don't know what that does, but fuck that. That's this door's trapped.
So now we just have to figure out how to untrap it.
I'd say with 21 investigation check, you're able to determine that it's just some kind of pressurized spray trap.
Which, I mean, 50-50 on what, not, well, who knows what it is. I mean, if it's acid, then it's actually not going to hurt him that much, but better to minimize risk.
In case it's poisonous gas that will immediately spew out and kill all of your friends.
Yeah, or just any manner of horrible things. Question is, how the hell do we disarm it?
That is the question, isn't it?
That would be part of the thieves' tools.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
Did you want to do it, or should I try it this time?
You can go ahead and try it.
Okay.
Vellos is going to step out of the way. He
So
does
you're
not want to get.
here. Go ahead and give me a Thieves' Tools check.
All right. Let me just reconfirm my dex. $15.
Oops. That'll be enough. You're able to find. You're able to, as you're poking around with the probe, you're able to find the triggering mechanism tied to opening the door. And it's a fairly simple It's a fairly simple pull wire that looks like it's supposed to apply pressure to something else as the doors open, and you're able to cut that.
Aha! I think I got it.
Excellent.
And as you cut that, the rest of you quickly notice movement in the room you're
Oh
in.
dear.
Why am I not surprised?
As these three turn around to face you. However, this one just stays standing like a statue.
Lantern has her scimitar ready, like she's gonna open fucking champagne with it.
You know, I expected the shopkeeper to animate. That's unexpected, but not a total surprise.
And with that, we will start this tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, sorry. Start this next week. We
Ooh.
are running very close.
Yes.
Indeed.
And Thorn should be here starting
Yes.
next week, so
Yeah.
That too.
that makes sense.
We want his help to punch the glass man.
I'm
Yes,
really
right?
glad I rolled a 20 on that. I don't want to
Ah.
know what that would have sprayed me with.
Right? Now that
Probably
it's
not
disarmed,
silly string.
now that it's disarmed, we might be able to take the stuff with us.
I would have laughed if it was acid and did like nothing to him.
Well, you just have to dismantle the trap and find out now, won't you?
We probably will once we smash these things. Man, first it was charcoal golems, now glass golems, or whatever the fuck these things are.
Golems of industry.
Yes.
Golems are guilt-free. Actually, dungeon monsters in general are guilt-free.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about all of that messy morality.
You can save that for when you're ripping people off.
Yeah.
What morality do I need for ripping people off? It's just as guilt-free as the other stuff.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So your god says.
Yeah, no. Dori was in no way surprised when Bruno became a cleric of Rasta.
No.
It sounds like nobody who knew him was.
No,
Exactly.
not really.
You have to understand. Bruno's father and Dori's oldest brother were in the Thieves' Army together. That should tell you some things.
I have things planned for that. Don't worry about it.
Oh, cool.
That's worrying.
Don't you worry about a thing.
There's a reason Bruno has no family, and our previous DM is why.
I hope we wind up visiting Glassroom sometime.
I have something for that too. Don't worry.
I would love to see the family nest for Vellos.
Oh,
I've got something for that too. Don't you worry.
The question is, will Vellos lead you all through the trap safely, or will he pull pranks on you all?
I've got things for that as well.
I think Lantern technically has a family because she's like laid eggs and shit. But they're all kobolds, and none of them really have much of a personality because none of them are awakened kobolds.
That you know of.
Well, that she's met anyway.
Yeah.
Anything can happen once you leave a place, but that, they wouldn't have known her while both of them were sentient.
Yep.
Fiona does have a family.
Yes.
She is on good terms with this family.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
you fought too much, so they sent you to your dream place, a place where you fight more.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did
little
they
PTSD.
realize that? I don't know.
Impossible to say.
Not until
But-
later on down the line.
Yeah, the
Fiona's
last
been very happy.
the last few campaigns with Nezu kind of gave me PTSD on complex family dynamics. So I went with something simple this time.
The way I'm
Always gotta
thinking
throw
it,
fucking something in there.
the way I'm thinking it is, Fiona's parents knew that they were sending her someplace where she would get discipline, and discipline she did get.
She also
she
just
also
got the
learned-
opportunity to punch a lot of people.
Yes.
Yes.
That's not in the way they were thinking.
Well, I mean, she is a Delver now, so she's at least punching things legally.
Productive member of society right there.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Whether or
exactly
not
what
she wanted-
they want.
Whether or not they wanted her putting herself in danger, I don't know yet. But she is definitely from It Takes a Village town.
Ah, yes.
Regardless of what it is, everybody here who has family is all in the same situation of there's that secret little bit of dread that nobody's going to mention because you're all Delvers.
Nah, the only
But one day-
contact that Lantern has back home was kind of like, I'm glad you became a Delver. It seemed like maybe a lifestyle match, so...
Yep.
Yeah, it's the only family Bruno can actually say he even has is on the delving team with him.
Yes.
I mean, that's a pretty good way to keep the plot from taking your NPC family members for ransom, is by having your only family be a PC.
Yeah.
Good way to do
Certainly.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That is a good way to do it.
Didn't think about that. We might run into Vellos' brother at some point down the line.
That could be fun.
Yeah, you might. Depends where you are. Depends where he is.
Yeah, Vellos has no idea where the fuck he is right now, but
Also depends on where you aren't and where he isn't.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to take off. Excellent game, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week.
Have a good week.
I'll see
Yeah,
you all
we've-
later, and I will go ahead and cap this recording off.
Is Discord making good sounds?
Sometimes.
Discord has
getting
been
that.
making new log in, log out sounds when people join and disconnect.